We're going to bring you lots more from there. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I'm bringing the time now to 5 minutes to the top of the hour. Now, moving on straight, Hong Kongers arrested for seditious picture book. Now, 2 men were charged for merely possessing the books which Hong Kong officials say challenge the state. All right then. Now, Australia's stretch record for longest surf session is one of the stories making the rounds when it comes to sports. But, well, let's move on to some other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. On the African continent, UN Security Council extends UN mission in South Sudan, and US Blinken meets with AU representatives in Ethiopia. What has it got to tell them? Yeah, you got to do this for the... All right. Now, Uganda, Museveni calls gay people deviants as anti-LGBT bill advances. Well, yes, that's what he's called them. But what do you think? Now, clashes in Dakar as trial of Senegalese opposition leader gets underway. Well, now everybody is protesting and trying to protect their people that they believe in. So what about that? Ugandan leader's son announces candidacy for president before withdrawing tweet: in the name of Jesus Christ, my God, in the name of the youth of Uganda and the world, and the name of our great revolution, I will run. Well, is it now time for the Ugandan leader, Museveni, to step down, and that's why his son is doing all that? Is it a monarchy, or what exactly are they talking about there? Well, or is it an heir to the throne? Okay. You want to know more about that? You got to stay tuned, and I'll be bringing you more on that front. In Ghana as well, the final funeral rites of Christian Atsu is ongoing. He'll be buried today. He lost his life at the during the Turkish earthquake a few weeks ago. Let me put it that way. A few weeks ago. So we'll be telling you more about that in a moment. But it is Starr Radio UK. We'll be telling you more about his contribution and everything that he has done. Decision of the court: an unfortunate travesty of justice. Tiger IPI reacts to verdict on defamation suit, still making the rounds there. Okay, one victim of military brutality in Ashaman dies. That's what a lawyer is saying. Is it just going to be one of those things we just make so much noise and actually nothing happens from there? What do you think? It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, in honor of Christian Atsu, the renowned sports presenter Kwabena Boa, he's a journalist, a sports journalist as well, has said that Christian Atsu's fame didn't get into his head. So he didn't get over the top like others do. But what do you think? Decline in fuel prices has nothing to do with gold for oil policy. That's what the minority is saying. Well, if you're doing gold for oil, and then you say because of that, that's why your oil prices, well, are they giving it for free? Or are you paying more for what? Okay, it is also already okay. What a fine gentleman Miss Azuma Nelson is another story that is making the rounds there as well. It is Starr, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We're going to take a break, and once we come back, we will be looking at more of the stories. Kwesi Nyantakyi reacts to High Court ruling on Anas versus Kennedy in Japan. What is he saying? Ha ha ha! Okay, now let's move on. Let's enjoy some music, and I'll be bringing you Mr. Olayomi Koiki in a moment. Stay tuned. Don't you go away. This music is from Sami Okposo, and it says gratitude. Gratitude. Has anybody got some gratitude this morning? If you got it, then you know where it has to go to. It is God who has given us the grace to be able to be alive and well and kicking. Enjoy the tune, and I'll be with you. Stay tuned. Don't you go away.
Some gratitude in my spirit. I have some gratitude in my spirit. Once you feel it going,
Wonderful tune from the late Samuel Puso. Gratitude. And as I did say, you have some gratitude this morning. Yeah, what have you got that wasn't given to you? So some way, somehow, you need to try to find out how to go about it. But this one coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We should be having Mr. Olayomi Koiki joining in pretty soon. But wherever you are, continue to keep your dials logged on Starr Radio UK and continue to enjoy the music whilst he get him all lined up and ready to come on. But tomorrow, the 18th day of March, is going to be the day once again going for the gubernatorial elections in Nigeria. But well. With some politicians trying to play the ethnic card in there, what do you think is going to happen? What about other states as well? How do we calm the whole situation down? You want to know more about all that? Keep your dial still logged on Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. UK, we got some gratitude this morning, and that's what we offer to you, saying that thank you very much for joining us once again. Thank you for loving me. All the things you have done for me. Everybody thank you. Everybody praise Him. Thank you for loving me. All the things you have done for me. Everybody lift your voice. This is my gratitude song. This is my gratitude song, Lord God. All the things you have done. Okay, let's go to Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studio, and let me say good morning to you, Yomi.
Well, good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning to our listeners and viewers. A very good afternoon to those that are watching in Nigeria, because you are 1 hour ahead of us. Good evening if you're watching in Australia, New Zealand, or Japan. And welcome once again to the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, to the morning show, the Friday, where it is the payday for some, and it is also, thank God, it's Friday after a very long week.
Yes. We want to say thank you to each and every one of you, of course, for tuning in as well. Gratitude, that's what we have, and we are so grateful to you for tuning in to listen to us. How are you doing, sir?
Well, I'm doing very well, and we can, like I said all the time, let us be always grateful, for what we have. The rest of what we don't have yet, I'm sure it will come by, with time. We might not have everything, but the longer you are still breathing, that means there's still hope and opportunity, even in the midst of everything happening in our surroundings. I'm doing very well.
Good. We thank God for that. Okay. So wherever you are also listening to us, we say thank you very much. And we thank God, whatever you believe in, for protecting you and making you join us this morning or afternoon or evening, depending on which part of the world you are at this time. In Japan, it's late night there. We say good night to you all as you go to bed. But we are here to bring you all that is happening in Nigeria in details now. Now, let's quickly go to the election that's going to be taking place. We'll come to the president-elect statement, but tomorrow is a big day. Now, we're looking at a situation in the Southeast where after the APC lost hold of the Lagos state, they thought, no, if we don't take time, if the people are voting according to party lines or according to the performance of the APC, there's a tendency that Sonolu might lose the election as well. And therefore, some are thinking that is why they try to pull the card of ethnicity, so that you say that, well, you know what, because the Labour Party is led by an Igbo person, that means that we voted for an Igbo person to take over, and therefore trying to play that card when it comes to the gubernatorial. But looking at what is happening at the moment, what is going on the ground, and how are people that you've spoken to thinking of voting? If somebody voted for Labour Party as a protest vote, what are they going to do now?
Let's go straight to Oyo State. We are just about 24 hours we're not too sure. Nothing is going to happen. There shouldn't be any glitch. INEC has given us extra 2 weeks, according to them, to prepare for what will be, the battle of the Titanic, if you want to put it that way. Tomorrow, Nigerians will be going out again for the final part of what is called the 2023 election, and a lot of expectation, a lot of excitement, but a lot of tension. Let's go to Oyo State. I mean, looking at my, my local government here, Oyo State has about 33 local government, and I can confirm 3 dead yesterday clashes between APC and the PDP. We are not talking yet about Lagos State. I am telling you that in Oyo State in southwest Nigeria, there's already tension in there. Remember that yesterday we were telling you that, in Rivers State, missing of candidates. So that means, somebody that is meant to be contested under the House of Rep in Rivers State as we speak right now is nowhere to be found. That is the kind of politics that is being played in Africa, but in Nigeria. Let me quickly tell you what, the United Nations is actually saying, because, I picked up something around what UN is saying. And this has been the reflection, in terms of so many, indigenous people, for those that are campaigning for, the disintegration of what is known as Nigeria today. The United Nations is also telling us that, what played out in the election that we saw from the presidential election has revealed ethnic, religious, demographic fault line. This is actually coming from United Nations themselves. And the question then is, if this is the situation, then the question is, are we seeing that the politicians in the southwest in Yoruba are saying to the Yorubas, try to remain the Yoruba politics in the Yoruba land, but even though Nigeria are running, the Nigerians are voting in terms of, would they like, but that is not actually what is going to happen tomorrow. Everybody is voting for their own choice of candidate, playing the ethnic card, the religious card. Let's go back to President-elect Tinubu himself. Tinubu is a Muslim. Shaitima is a Muslim in a country that has, vast amount of Christians and likewise other traditionalists as well. But they were able to convince Nigerians to say, we can still have a country, even though both vice president and the president himself are coming from the Islamic side of things as a Muslim. But tomorrow, are we going to see such playing out as well, especially in the southwest? And likewise, as some are saying, that even Peter Obi rigged some of the election in Anambra. I've seen some of those evidence as well, that in the church, we saw the Labour Party, thumb printing. And again, everybody seems to be protecting their homes. But tomorrow is going to be a D-Day in Nigeria. But the security are saying they are promising safety, security. We saw the same thing, during the presidential election. They were rolling out the army, the military tank to Lagos State and the southwest. While in the north, we didn't see anything of such. But we end up seeing, catastrophe of election rigging where ballot boxes were snatched. But this time around, MC Oluomo, the park manager, is now threatening the Igbo in Lagos State, and that could ignite a fire if care is not taken tomorrow in Lagos State.
Wow. Now, if you compare the presidential elections to this gubernatorial election that's going to be taking place, the tension in there, how do you see it? Was the presidential more tensed than this the gubernatorial one that we're going to be seeing tomorrow?
The gubernatorial election is more tense than the federal one, because federal is there. People believe that Abuja is just, there. But when it comes to the main one, remember that they're going out tomorrow to vote for those that will be representing them under the House of Reps. They are also changing the governors or those that have to come back. But the tension has always been there in election. But it seems that the third force has bring out the tsunami that have not been expected. We have seen, I was speaking to my cousin yesterday, 34 Labour, candidate will be representing under the federal, 6 I mean, somebody that has been there from 1999 was uprooted. I mean, I'm talking about, this candidate from the APC that, he's got 12 wives, and it looks like he's been sitting there for a very long time, but he was uprooted. And the worry is, in Lagos State precisely, there might be changes. We don't know how it's going to play out tomorrow. But like I said, a video of a park manager, MC Olayomi, coming out precisely to say to the Igbos, please do not come out if you're thinking of voting otherwise for the APC. And like I said, that might trigger what could lead to crisis if care is not taken. Even though the security operatives are saying that there's going to be safety and all that. And that is why, I heard you talking about it, Simon Ekpa released just about an hour ago. The threat against Indigo in Lagos may no longer be tolerated. We have not threatened any ethnic group in the Biafra land except the terrorists. I have just finished speaking with Chief Sunday Igboho on the phone about the attack against Indigo in Lagos, which he condemned in the strongest term. Those who think we don't care about our people in Lagos because of our political differences and opinions are making a big mistake. Enough of the threat against Indigo. You may face strong resistance going forward until the day we exit Nigeria. MC Olayomi, the park manager, if by tomorrow you carry out the threat against Igbo people in Lagos State, then wait for us. He's going to be addressing that during his late night broadcast later on tonight.
Well, we hope that these tensions calm down a bit. I would really, really, really hope so. But I was trying to see whether we can see public opinion poll in for the Lagos State one, where it's more tense, and some other areas that Olayomi Koiki was talking about. But once we try to get that, let's see whether we can.
As I speak right now, Lagos is currently trending on the social media, and I can give you some of the reactions.
Yeah,
Mr.
go on.
Macaroni, an influential, well-known in Nigeria, almost about 3-4 million followers. He was beaten to stool during the EndSARS. The Lagos Commissioner for Police has asked us to hold him accountable and responsible for the safety and protection of voters. Dear sir, we are already being threatened. The people are counting on you, and is actually to what the security operatives are saying. I'm going to get the audio of that in just about a few minutes. Once again, this is Starr Radio UK. Also, let's take you to some of the other trade as well. Some APC supporter in Alimosho of Lagos State. Remember that the Labour Party won, that particular side, during the presidential election. I mean, APC actually lost, that election in Alimosho. Alimosho is the biggest local government in the state, and right there is the face of the man that is threatening, the voters in Lagos State. Is known as MC Olayomi. Is a park manager working for the governor, and likewise Tinubu, the president-elect, openly declares support for. It seems that some people in Alimosho, some of the APC members are burning down, the broom in support for the Labour Party. So we're going to see a lot of moves tomorrow as well, between now and tomorrow. The reaction is what we are talking about. More reaction is also coming. Babatunde Gbadamosi, a non-politician as well, just to let INEC Nigeria and Babajide Sanwo-Olu and Tinubu and the office and the army, Nigerian army, know that Lagosians are now fully aware of the nefarious plan of the ruling party in Lagos. To be clear, this is Musiliu Akinsoya, aka MC Olayomi, rumored to be either us. In a live video, he was actually making a threat to the citizens of those that are going to be going out tomorrow in Lagos State. Stay in your house if you won't vote for APC in Lagos, MC Olayomi declared yesterday.
Interesting. Well, some of the opinion poll at the moment that I'm seeing talks about the fact that Sanwo-Olu is ahead. That's what they say in there. But we know that the polls, who have they even asked the question? But let's come to listeners in Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Updates from Nigeria with Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios. I'm Archie here in the South studios. Now, has Chief Sunday Igboho made any statement to the Yoruba people that, like, we have, what do you call him, this gentleman who said he spoke to him, what is his name, the IPOP, Samuel Ekpa says he spoke to him overnight. Now, has Chief Sunday or any of the leadership of the Yorubas come and make a statement that, look, we are not for this government because whatever they are doing, they have been sidelining us. When it came to the Lagos rally, that's when they decided, because I don't know whether they were so scared that there was going to be a bigger impact there, and that's why they came out, attacked Chief Sunday Igboho, a couple of days before the date and everything, and somebody even died there during that rally. I remember that Lagos rally. I think someone was shot or something of the sort. Now, have we had any information from any of the leadership of the Yoruba?
Well, just before, the election, of the presidential election, some about almost 3 weeks precisely now, going to 4 weeks, Professor came out, to say it clearly that the election being conducted, as much as we want our own right to self-determination, but we can't force those that still want to go out and vote. They probably still believe in Nigeria, even though he doesn't believe that Nigeria in the way forward as well. There's also a lot of rumors, that, Sunday Igboho, because there were some individuals among the Yoruba people that eventually went to endorse Bola Ahmed Tinubu before the election, just about some few days before the election. And they wanted to, because some of them are very close to Sunday Igboho chief, and likewise as some of his, close allies. But Igboho came out to say he has not endorsed Tinubu. In terms of the threat, to the Indigo and the other Yorubas, because let us remind that it is not just the Igbo that are voting under the Labour Party. We have maximum amount of Yorubas as well. And I'm just seeing evidence of a video coming out from Alimosho, precisely a dominated Yoruba axis, one of the biggest local government, saying that they are no longer going to be voting for APC. They're going to be moving their vote for the Labour Party. But again, in strong condemnation, both the leaders of the Yoruba self-determination have said a threat to any human being is not allowed in the civilized society today. And that is why they've continuously told those campaigning for the right to self-determination that this struggle must not bring any kind of bloodshed. It will be done, it will be conducted, even though the federal government might not like it. The Yoruba people have the right under the UN to go out of the country that was put together by the British since 1914. Wow,
listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. Need I say more when it comes to this election that's going to be taking place tomorrow in Lagos? But that statement that was MC is it Olayomi, who is threatening people now, saying that if you know that you're going to be voting for the Labour Party, then don't come out there to come and vote and stuff like that. Is it going to go into the polling booth with individuals? Or are individuals going to be showing that I'm wearing Labour Party T-shirt, so I'm going to vote? Is that what is going to happen? Or
you will be surprised, that during the presidential election, I have the video here, you will not vote in that polling unit if you're not voting APC, because there are some people standing next to you to make sure that you are printing right for APC. Ballot boxes were, destroyed for those in Ilshodi area because they were more like, the Igbos were in that area as well. Other areas that has the Igbo, there was a lot of destruction that happened in there, but yet Tinubu lost Lagos State to Labour Party. And that is why they're a little bit more concerned that there might have more people coming out to vote against, the APC in Lagos State, and that might change the dynamic. And that is why, the ethnic card has been played. And in the last 3 days, Sanwo-Olu, even though yesterday was the final campaign again, threat to, lives were still made to some of the Labour Party candidates in Surulere. And we saw Sanwo-Olu doing everything. And like I said, even if you invite him for your son's birthday party, he will attend with some of his commissioner because he needs everything. A caller on our program yesterday said people that were not, getting money from the government in terms of pension have now been paid quickly, and they're doing the same thing in Lagos, Ogun State. They are releasing loan to the, to the meat seller, to those selling planks in Abeokuta. The same thing is happening in Oyo State. So it seems that the politicians have now understood that power belongs to the people, and the people now are saying we will change whatever we want to change as long as we're allowed to do so. But the question is, how do you stop somebody from voting for their own choice? like I said, in front of the police with the video evidence. People were there saying, you will not cast your vote if you're not voting APC in this polling unit. And we're not talking about one polling unit. And the ones that they were not able to do, MC Olayomi controls most of the atrocity in Lagos State today, but with the backing of the government of the day, is the park manager of the National Union Road Transport Worker. This is not the first time he's doing so, but openly yesterday, he came out to say, if you're not voting APC, stay in your house, mentioning names of the Igbo people during the live broadcast.
Wow. Wow. And what have the security agencies said about this? They just going to take it that, oh, it's one of those things. I don't think that is good enough. And inducement, trying to just, let's make sure that we pay this one out and do that so that the people come and vote for us. And voters, if you are listening to us, please use your brains. Okay? They will give you whatever, induce, and then once they get there, they forget about you, they forget about whatever business, they forget about the welfare of your children and yourself. And just get on, moving on with their lives. But well, we want you to use your brains. Okay? All right then. Omobulaji Abdullahi says, good morning, Mr. Archie and Mr. Koiki. God bless you. Watching from UAE. Hey, hello, all UAE listeners that we salute each and every one of you. He says, tomorrow it's going to be woto. We'll see about that. It is Starr Radio UK updates from Nigeria. Now let's come to the statement that the president-elect has made. Now, some were thinking that in order to have peace in these times where Nigeria seems to be so much divided, the gaps or the valleys that have been created is quite deep. So people were thinking that, well, the best way forward for Nigerians as a whole was that maybe the president-elect will, stretch some olive branches. Okay, let's get this one to be holding this particular, or somebody from their party to do that particular thing. But he reckons that, well, the APC have got...
Can I just get about 10 seconds?
Yes, do. Now, he reckons that the APC have got the men or the capacity or the expertise to run the whole of the nation. But if we want to talk about that, we're talking about the 8 years of the APC so far, where we see that Nigeria is rather declined. But well, that's what he's saying. Yomi.
The expectation is that, after every election, you get a phone call and then you can start planning ahead. But as much as Tinubu wants to plan ahead, he must also prepare that the two other candidates have not made that congratulatory phone call. And that means that, Tinubu is saying Nigeria needs competence, not the national unity government. Because when you talk about national unity government, that means you're trying to bring everybody together. He believes that he has won this election, even though PDP and Labour Party disagree with him. And, in one of the updates that we posted, you realize that, I am devastated losing worst president election in Nigeria, Peter Obi. So Peter Obi is still very, very bitter, and likewise, the obedient movement as well. So let's take a look at what Tinubu is actually saying. The president-elect Bola Tinubu yesterday damped the hope of advocate of a government of national unity, favoring competence over such a political arrangement. He stated that his aim was higher than a government of national unity and would rather seek a government of national competence in selecting his cabinet members and not choosing appointees based on religion as well. We know that the nepotism of President Muhammadu Buhari has led to what we've never seen before. Buhari elected almost everyone from the Fulani sector into his government, and likewise, controlling major sector, the security apparatus in Nigeria and so many other areas of parastatals. But today, Tinubu is saying that might not happen. That might also be damping the hope of those that believe that, as a Yoruba man, he might be bringing in new changes. Maybe he's putting the IG as a Yoruba man and changing everything to become a Yoruba. But Tinubu is saying that is not going to happen. Remember already that, we talked about the NADECO, that spoke sometimes last week, and some of those of their representative. Tinubu was part of those that set up the NADECO. But let me just quickly give you what one of those that spoke at that event said, and this is coming up on the screen right now.
Next will be NADECO General Counsel, Bruce.
And this was in Washington where they were speaking. So let's hear what this man had to say.
Thank you very much. I'm Bruce Levalle, and I am General Counsel for NADECO, and I'm honored to be part of an illustrious group such as NADECO that has a long history of trying to do the right thing and keep democracy safe, restore democracy, and restore the rule of law. And the primary question I think that should be asked, most of the people here in the audience know this, is why should we care about Nigeria? Why should the United States care about Nigeria? Why should the international community care about Nigeria? What would you say if I told you that there was a country that has arguably the world's oldest democracy with full participation of all of its members? What would you say if I told you that there is a country where a group of people has the oldest written constitution featuring guarantees for individual freedom and due process in the world?
I'm just going to fast forward it. I want us to get towards the end of it.
Yes, scribbling, when it used to look like this, where it was written, someone didn't like the results. That's what appears to have happened. Dr. Ogebe observed it happening. So what we have is vote rigging, vote buying, and bribery. So despite INEC's efforts, nothing good happened. And we're back to the same old thing, the same old efforts. So what do we do? What do we do in the United States? What do we do as members of the diaspora? What do we do as international attorneys or international law folks? What do we do to ensure democracy can thrive? That the promise of 1960 can come true again, hopefully. Well, we are asking that INEC throw open the curtains and let the full light of truth come in.
Well, let the full light of truth comes in. Tinubu disagree with some of these part of what he created after Abacha was almost going to kill him as well. He was part of those that founded NADECO. NADECO has come out to criticize one of them and totally disagree with the result of the election as well. Starr Radio UK, it is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, 24 hours, just or less than that, before the next election that will make or do across Nigeria.
Now, we want to know what you are thinking of if you are in Nigeria listening to us this morning pertaining to the elections. Are you going to vote? And are you telling us who you are going to be voting for? Are you voting for the Labour Party? And if you are voting for the Labour Party, they are telling you that, well, there are some police stations that you cannot go and vote. You have to tell us who you are voting for before you are allowed in. My goodness. All right, then. What kind of election is that? But we have the INEC that will come and say, that is free and fair. Okay, NADECO disagrees with whatever took place when it came to the presidential election. NADECO, once again, was also a formation of Tinubu. And your own people coming to criticize you. That is a big one there. But what do you think? It is our Starr Radio UK. Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios. I'm Archie here in the South studios, and we are bringing you updates from Nigeria. So we'll go back to Yomi. Now, the Shiites the Shiite movement has condemned, in Kaduna, have condemned the Kaduna government, the governor especially, for some shooting that has taken place. And I've been asking myself the question, when the military goes round to, whatever command, whoever told them to do so, and they go around rampaging and doing sorts, who holds them accountable? Do we have lawyers who say that, well, no win, no pay, or no win, no fee, and therefore we'll fight the cause for the people? Because we have a case where during the one that the Lekki toll gate, with the NSAS. Now, some people were killed there. Now, what has happened to them? Up to now, though there was a report that came, that's why I'm saying that those who are going to vote, they should use their heads. Look at what happened in the past. And if the person has not reacted to them, telling that today, give me your vote and I'll do that for you, you have to think through it very, very, very well. Now, are there lawyers who stand there to say that, look, we are going to defend this case? And can you tell us more about what they are accusing El-Rufai of?
Let me take you back to 2015. One of the headlines then, Nigerian Army Shiite in war of words after deadly Zaria attack that killed many. What do we know then? This was December 12, 2015. And if you look at the timeline, you would have expected that some kind of sanity, between, the government of the day and the state, the federal, and the security apparatus. The Shiite, has strong movement in Nigeria as well. And their leader, El Zakizaki, was arrested. He has been released. But the reason why they are still out on the street demanding that his traveling document must be released so that he can get a better, good health care. But in December, the Nigerian army and members of the Islamic movement of Nigeria have accused each other of instigating attack that led to the death of members of the movement on Sunday. Like I confirmed to you today, not a very, very good news. Children and likewise adults have been killed by straight bullet by the convoy taking the governor of Kaduna State. We see that because of the tension, between them in the past, which I have to go back to 2015, you would expect that, there will be a kind of, sanity. There'll be a kind of, even if the governor is moving, we do know that sometimes, around the world, we send, images coming out from Paris where vehicles are burned and all sorts. But definitely, even if those protesters are moving towards the governor, there's always a way to calm the situation. But this is different in Nigeria. But like I said, 5 civilians, including children, have been killed today by straight bullet during a peaceful protest by members of the Shiite in Bakinruwa area of Igabi local government area of Kaduna State. The question then is, who do you hold responsible after the death of innocent children? I was asking this yesterday during my late night conversation. Do we have human rights in Nigeria? And if we don't have human rights, when is Nigeria going to respect our rights?
When is Nigeria going to respect the rights of its own citizens? Is the question that Yomi is also asking. And I'm asking you, do you think your right is being respected at all? Do you feel very good? I'm a proud Nigerian. Yes, okay. What are you getting out for that? Someone will say that it's what you are giving and not what you are getting out. Really, you pay your taxes and do everything. What are you getting out of that? All right, then. Now it is Starr Radio, okay, 11:36 the time. We'll go back to Yomi for the rest of the stories making the rounds. Over to you, Yomi.
Thank you so much. It is still the Friday, 17th of March, 2023, coming up to almost, 24 minutes before 12 noon. And let's take you through some of the other headlines. Appeal court have rejected Abba Kyari's associate request for bail. Remember that Abba Kyari is wanted in America, but for some reasons, this extradition is not taking place, even though he's asking, for bail. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has actually dismissed an appeal by the Assistant Commissioner of Police, Sunday Ubu, wherein he sought to be admitted to bail. Ubu is an associate of the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police, Abba Kyari, being prosecuted together by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency for unlawful drug dealings and other charges. So we have to continue to wait until his charges on the NDLA and likewise charges around him with the American government as well. Like I was saying earlier, the police has now confirmed the Oyo APC PDP member class that led to 3 members of the community dying in that as well, and have begun a probe into that as well. APC continued to knock Najatu. Remember that Najatu was the one that gave us, inside information that, the wife of the president, Najatu is the one on the left, the wife of the president on the right. She looks a little bit more, moderate here, but, remember that she was actually accused by a Twitter handle of eating Nigerian money, and that's why she's becoming so big. Najatu is currently, continue to speak out, even in the midst of PDP losing the election. According to what we know, the loyalists of the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate in the 25th February election, Atiku Abubakar, Najatu Muhammad, has blamed President Muhammadu Buhari for what she called the rigging of the poll in favor of All Progressive Congress candidate Bola Tinubu. Najatu, who was the director in charge of the civil society organization under the APC Presidential Campaign Council before the defection to the Atiku's camp, also cheated Buhari for alleged abuse of the rule of law, blatant corruption, and other similar vices. which he said they were all mark of a governance in the past 8 years. And this is exactly what the NADECO in America are saying, and so many others as well have said the same thing. In a statement she personally signed and made available to journalists yesterday, Najatu berated Buhari for the open display of his ballot paper after voting, describing the behavior as an upfront into the nation's secret ballot model of the voting. Remember that after the voting, I mean, when Buhari was casting his vote, just before he was putting it into the, the box, President decided to openly show the world that, I'm actually voting APC, even though some said he was not voting APC, but evidence indicated that he was actually voting APC. But again, whether this was right to have done or not, Najatu says this President Muhammadu Buhari in 8 years is one of the worst president that we've ever come across. And you can just tell these are the results that took place after the election that was announced, the result of Bola Tinubu. I mean, imagine a professor have to adjust these and submit these in 21st century. Unbelievable. Starr Radio UK, let's take it through quickly with the rest of the headline at exactly 20 minutes before time. And like I said, addressing multiple shock growth, Nigeria, other African nations as well. MC Olayomi, Speaker Obasa warns Lagosians against violence in Lagos. I am devastated. Losing worst presidential election is also coming from Peter Obi. Obedient divided over endorsement of PDP Labour gubernatorial candidate in Enugu State. And then we go straight to the social media as we're almost coming to the end of the headline. Like I said, Lagos is trending this morning, and that is due to the fact that election tomorrow is holding across Nigeria again. Not all states will be contested. I mean, election is going to be holding Osun State because they've done theirs in the past, and likewise some other states as well. But majority of the state tomorrow are going for what is known as an election fever that is already happening there. Continuity, Ben Odoye is trending again. And let's take a look at Sheyi Tinubu is trending. Sheyi Tinubu is the son of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And yesterday, Indomie noodles, with some, Lebanese, probably maybe those working in Nigeria, were seen in a car throwing boxes of Indomie noodles with the names of Sanwo-Olu on top of it as well, with an NGO known as Cocoon Foundation. And, weaponized poverty, win an election. APC took what PDP invented to another level, is this Twitter handle at Maize Kuchi. Let's take a look at what is more trending as well. Once again, City Hall was given to Lagos State by Rhodes Voya family, and now you say they are not Lagosians. Sanwo-Olu and his deputy from Ogun State, Sheyi Tinubu, is married from the southeast as well, according to this Twitter handle as well. So let's take a look at Nigeria in just about a few minutes on the social media and see what is trending. And then I come back again to you, Mr. Archie, in the studio. Once again, if you're listening to us, this is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Monday to Friday at just about 11 o'clock, we review every news coming out of Nigeria, and likewise so many other news as well. The United Nations on Wednesday said the presidential election that was held revealed sharp ethnic, religious, and demographic fault lines in Nigeria. This is coming from Simon Ekpa. Channels Television, one of the mainstream media in Nigeria, unspecified number of people have been reportedly killed in the clash between the members of the proscribed Islamic movement in Nigeria. And likewise, I know we didn't talk about that, but we talked about it yesterday. IPOB is also protesting, the 10th deadliest terror group ranking that was included under the Global Terrorism Index yesterday as well, is coming from one of the social media tweets as well. So the last one, before coming back to you, Dele Farotimi, I did this table too. INEC is facilitating and complicit in a crime against the victims of Nigeria. And you can just tell that more Nigerians are asking questions around INEC. And again, just look at these. Just look at these. See what they have turned Nigeria into. Can these country fools try this in their country? And these are Indomie noodles in boxes thrown to Yoruba people, or those in Lagos State, in support for Sanwo-Olu tomorrow for their election in Lagos State.
Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We pray that whoever and when you go to the election polls, I mean, if you just vote and leave the place. Don't stand around, because we don't know what is going to happen, especially with the tensions that are in there. And people are going to say that, why are you stopping me from going to vote? It's my prerogative if I want to vote and whoever I want to vote for. But it doesn't look the way. But Yomi, a quick one. Najatu statement that she's been making. Where does she belong now? Does she belong to the PDP or is it still with the APC?
She actually left APC, because she believed that she cannot continue with Buhari, because Buhari, according to her, has got a bit of dementia. He has not run the party from what they were expecting, and he's not going to endorse Tinubu because Tinubu, after speaking with him for 2 hours, Tinubu can't remember anything. So Najatu is currently with the PDP.
Wow, she's taking a big swipe at them, and I don't know how. Well. Listeners, yes, Najatu there for you. Well, making the statement, but I hope that they won't send the security agencies again after her. I hope not. I hope not. All right then. As we've been saying, Yomi will speak in the Yoruba language to those of you listening to us, so that you know that tomorrow you are going to the polling station. If you want to go and vote, just go and vote and leave the place. If you don't want, looking at everything that happened with the answers and everything, he's going to address you in Yoruba, so you will understand exactly what you have to do. Over to you, Yomi.
Fún gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ fẹ́ lọ dìbò lọ́la, lótìtọ́ àwa tí à ń sọ pé a fẹ́ Yorùbá nation, àwa ní ọwọ́ sí ìdìbò títọ̀la. Àmọ́ ó ti wù ọmọ Yorùbá tó fẹ́ dìbò, ibi tó bá wù ní kẹtẹ̀ sí lọ́la. Ẹlẹ́tọ̀ọ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ntí òfin ìjọba Nàìjíríà ní pé ẹ lọ dìbò lọ́la, ẹni tó bá wù yín òun ní kẹtẹ̀ sí lójú lọ́la. Àmọ́ sẹ́lẹ̀ nǹkan sí ìdìbò tọ̀la kò ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú àwa tí à ń ṣe Yorùbá nation. Yorùbá nation làwa dúró lé lórí. Àtọmọ Ìgbò, àtàwùsá, àti Yorùbá, àti gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀yà tí wọ́n kó papọ̀ sínú Nàìjíríà, ẹlẹ́tọ̀ọ́ lábẹ́ òfin constitution láti lọ dìbò bó ṣe jẹ́ nìyẹn. And for those that probably want to know what I was saying, I was actually saying that as much as those that want to vote tomorrow have the right to do so under the Constitution of Nigeria, whether you are Igbo, Yoruba, whether you are from any of the 370 ethnic groups, your right must be respected tomorrow. But we that believe away from that election, the Yoruba people cannot and will not endorse anybody, but we cannot stop anyone that wants to go out to vote tomorrow.
All right, so that is the information, the message to you. And as I said, don't, because you are being induced, giving some 10 pence, and then you just go and take that and you just go and do all sorts, and then the following day these people will forget about you and get on with their lives, and you'll still be found wanting. What about that? Yomi, let me say thank you very much. We'll be monitoring very closely what is going to happen tomorrow, and hopefully Monday we're going to come back to tell you exactly what has taken place.
Have a very great weekend, but stay tuned on Starr Radio UK. There will be more update coming, but for now I leave you in the good hands of Archie to take you through the rest of the segment. I'll be back again on Monday, but make sure you follow us on the social media, where there is going to be a lot of tweets coming throughout the tomorrow when the election will be held in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. So the other broadcasts will continue on the Koiki media as well over the weekend. So please be there and listen to it. Do you have any information that you want to put across? Feel free and put it there, and we'll promise you we're going to see to that. Yomi, have a wonderful weekend. We'll catch up later.
Bye for now.
Bye. Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 12 minutes to the top of the hour at a time, the morning show, the program. We're going to take a break, and then we come back and we continue with the show. Some commercial.
Monday to Friday, Starr Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let us see. This is Koiki Media now. As we switch back into the other side of the globe here again, while we are still monitoring the situation, like I said, Yoruba nation, our Adrofu, it's entirely up to you. Nigeria has failed every single one of us, whether those of us outside, whether those of you inside.
I don't care what's going to happen tomorrow. Whatever is going to happen has been planned by the Oyinbo people. Oyinbo ti plan gbogbo wàhálà tí ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń rò pé ó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀. You can see it right there, Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Do you have human rights in Nigeria? I don't think so. Mo kí láti Yewa, mo kí dáadáa, ẹ̀yin back end team wa. Mr. Kunle Emmanuel, good morning and good afternoon. Osage, good afternoon. Akeem Ayodele, my brother. Samson Adekunle, Prince Adebanjo Israel, good morning. Prince Ostina John Oboki, Yawa Flo Yetunde Talabi, good morning, good afternoon. Tunji Folayon, Bada Kolawole Opadeji, David Ayola, Larry Ayola Eti, Olalolanje, Ito Mashele, Ẹja máa para yín kílẹ̀ tó mọ̀. Àtẹ̀dúpẹ́ pé mo kí ẹ̀yin dára lórí Instagram pẹ̀lú mi láàárọ̀ so as usual. Ẹ̀yin tèmi lórí Mixlr ta ló wà ń bẹ̀ Comrade Plan B ṣé ń gbọ́ mi kò mo ti switch over padà sí Mike. Comrade Plan B, good afternoon. Báwo ni ìlú Ọ̀yọ́lá Ọ̀sùnmọ́kè wẹ́ntẹ́ wà ní Òkè Ògùn? Very beautiful view. Ọlátúnjí Àdìsá ní very nice, thank you. Matthew Afárá. Oladoni Yawa Folake Bello, Eshigoni. No human right in Nigeria. You know, tí kò sí human right in Nigeria. Ibo ló gbé human right sí. Tó bá ti wo òkè yìí, wàá máa bèèrè lọ́wọ́ rẹ pé ṣé ẹ ní human right. Ọmọ Bọ́lájí Abdullahi, mo kí Maize Gold, how you doing? Woto ní lọ́la, Yawa Ruth, Yawa Esther. Policeman killed having sex with a side chick in the bush. Yeah. You see, people keep saying I bring bad news. Say me give bad news. Well, okay, this one is South Africa, not in Nigeria. Do for long. Once again, tomorrow, not tomorrow, it go happen. It go happen. You know, we've not, and we are never going to endorse political parties. So, if you like yourself, just stay at home. Stay at home. Our broadcast yesterday was hold because of Benny Sunday video talo, but I've actually removed it. So in case you're watching that video and there's a section there that is muted, because what he hold the video and I was wondering why, and I realized that because of the video of Benny Sunday that we used yesterday. So I've actually asked them to remove that video as well. Moki Baba Wadeye Adeni Adebanjo Barika Jimo fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá. Thank you so much, Kolite, my brother. I love every one of you. You know, even if you are APC, PDP, Labour Party, does not mean that we don't love you. You know, Yoruba people, Igbo people, Hausa people, but I just don't believe in the views of Nigeria election. You know, I mean, we can still be friends. You know, we can disagree. Koiki, oh my work. I'm not saying you just the thing say you no go work. Look. Forget that, you no go work. It's just as if, you know, even show what they say, you no go work. Kamaiti was saw all these criminal politicians that have destroyed our lives for a very long time, you know. Yami Victoria, a couple of to grandma, Chalafia, Shedadale G, Mutiji again as usual. You know, some people have to wake up just to get the update from a very reliable platform. And yes, this is a reliable platform. Sometimes I speak in parables because I can't give you everything like that. If I give you everything, you're not going to come back again. So sometimes you might be on my YouTube channel or mostly Facebook. There's a lot of movement on my Facebook. Yami Esther. So I don't believe in Nigeria. We used to at some point, but not anymore. It's not worth it. Not because I'm outside Nigeria. You know, I've been to Nigeria. It's not worth it. You know, it's not worth it. I mean, you die for nothing in Nigeria. Nobody's going to remember you. It's as simple as that. So I understand that people think, oh, I was looking at Reno. You know, she's doing her best, trying to help people go and vote and all that. Vote for who? Who you now want to go vote for? The election where they don't rig before they make the election. You don't understand? The election has been rigged before the election. I have to put my, my emblem. But this Igboho one, ojoojúmọ́ ló máa bá mi wà lára tàbá tí ń ṣe program. Àbí tí bá gbàgbé. Maize Gold, how you doing? Mo kí àtó bí mi lọ́nà, Barika Jimoh, Ṣàlàfíà lẹ̀ jí. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin fans wa all over the world, wherever you are. If I don't upset you, making a no vex. But lórí Yorùbá Nation ni mo dúró lé. Your politicians, I cannot give them respect. Àwọn ọba mo fẹ́ bú wọn mọ́. Ẹ rí pé fídíò kan tí mo ṣe lánàá mo ti fi gbà sí àwọn ọba yẹn mo restrict ọ̀rọ̀ mi padà mo recall ọ̀rọ̀ mi padà. My utterances might not be pleasing you. I don't care. I'm sorry. I can't help you about that. So if my utterances is something that bí bàbá yẹn ṣe máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ mo like it. Kò lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ rárá. Ọmọ tó lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ni mí. Mo lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ jù ọ̀gan lọ. Wàláì. Mo níwà jù ọ̀gan lọ. Nobody's perfect. But for now, bí yàn bá ń jàjàngbara, don't expect smooth way. Ìyẹn mo sọ pé lórí platform eléyìí bí ìjà ni. Ìyẹn lèmi fẹ́. Kò tá a bá dàrú àlùlọ́bì kankan àkànṣeré mo sọ fún ìlànà sórí a máa yá ni ẹ bá ń dúró de smooth one ẹ máa pẹ́ lórí ẹ̀ ìtẹ́yìn mọ̀ ni pé àwọn aláwọ̀ funfun ẹ lọ gbọ́n kan tí UN sọ so UN mọ̀ pé àkíṣe kankan náà lọ́kọ̀ gbogbo àpapọ̀ fẹ́ ṣolíwò lè mọ̀ wọ́n mọ̀ pé àkíṣe kankan náà but àwọn máa sọ pé universal declare kò sí right ní Nàìjíríà ìbẹ̀lẹ̀ ṣe rí right yẹn rà akọ́lá Jimoh gbogbo àwa mùsùlùmí Gani Olóyèdè mo kí dáadáa mo kí gbogbo àwọn Koiki Media bákẹ́ǹtì mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin sisters wa tẹ́ wà lórí floor ní ibi tẹ́ ti ṣiṣẹ́ ní káàkiri àgbáyé Qatar mo rí ìyàwó àbíbálẹ̀ níjọ́ mẹ́ta iṣẹ́ ti gbé wọn lọ nìyẹn ọ̀la mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà níjẹ̀bú òde ẹ fẹ́ràn ara yín bẹ́ẹ̀ bá lọ vote àlèdè yín mú ọlọ́run dẹ̀ ṣe nísìn ẹ̀ ní evidence kankan mọ́ pé Koiki ló fẹ́ ní kọ́ lọ payín ẹ̀yin lẹ̀ ń para yín báyìí so cause expectation yìí ni pé àwa la máa kó bọ̀n jáde la máa payín lábẹ́ payín fún àlápọ̀n sọ pé ẹ̀ ní right àbó ní right òun ló wò lókè yẹn ó easy fún UN láti máa sọ pé Universal Declaration of Human Rights is just a word but in practice kò sí human right 5 people have been killed by Kaduna State government lẹ́ni ọmọ kékeré wà lára àwọn yìnbọn fún ṣé right nìyẹn and you want us àwa ká ti gbé níta tí a mọ̀ tán pè ní right o wá expect èmi kébi padà sí Nàìjíríà àwọn ní ẹ̀bọ̀ tí wọ́n ṣe wá ń push àwọn tó wà Nàìjíríà ilẹ̀ yìí wà lè èmi ti no àwa travelling tí àwa wà nínú ẹ̀ ìrìn àjò tá a wà nínú ẹ̀ right torí pé àwọn parents wa náà ní foresight èmi náà lè wá Nàìjíríà nísìnyí kí n máa tẹ̀lé MC Olúọmọ it might be a nice person to àwọn tó ń fún lówó tó ń rán lọ Mẹ́kà mo ní MC Olúọmọ kó rán mi lọ sí Mẹ́kà àbí kó rán mi lọ sí Jerusalem tí society bá da ó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ owó ààrẹ kí ló need MC Olúọmọ kó máa fún ẹ lówó lọ sí Mẹ́kà fún kí ló need ẹ fún kí ló need the governor kó fún ẹ ní hajj gbogbo rọ́tọ́ fún wa náà nìyẹn àwọn fún yàn ní hajj package èèyàn lè fún èèyàn bọ̀ kò ń ṣe pé government máa fún yín ní hajj government ò ṣe máa fún àwọn èèyàn ní owó láti lọ sí àwọn oríṣiríṣi òkè tí àdúrà ti ń gbà nínú Nàìjíríà àbí nílẹ̀ Yorùbá kí ló ń fáwọn èèyàn lówó fún láti máa lọ sí pilgrimage so gbogbo kinní yẹn kàjọ ni àmọ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ ni ẹ mọ̀ fáwọn kan nísìnyí ibi tó ti ń jẹ mùlá nìyẹn lórí ọ̀rọ̀ hajj yẹn ní Nàìjíríà olè kan wà nínú àwọn bẹ́ẹ̀ adẹ́pẹ́ rẹ̀ ní mùsùlùmí they are criminals so people don't want a society that àwọn ọ̀dẹ̀ lè gbé ní society tí kò work I've left Nigeria for 24 years so don't expect us to come and live in a society where mo nílé sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ máa mú ohun mi àbí tí bá sọ̀rọ̀ ẹni kọ́ lọ́ọ́ pààyàn àbí nǹkan tó ń ṣe kọ́ nìyẹn ní Nàìjíríà ṣé ìlú nìyẹn lẹ́ni èmi ní mo ṣe ń sọ yìí Koiki you bring bad news every day good news wà Nàìjíríà ni kò sí good news now Emmanuel Ayọ̀mídé thank you so much bẹ́ẹ̀ni mo sọ fún yín pé ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó má forget about ojú tó ń dán yìí tó bá yẹ pé Nàìjíríà ń ṣiṣẹ́ dáadáa wà láì ojú à máa dán ju tèmi lọ tí bá sọ fún ẹ pé òrí mo fi pajú láàárọ̀ ẹ nísìnyí láyé wà ó ní believe òrí dẹ̀ ni mo fi para òrí ọmọ tán pè lórí òun mo fi pajú mi báyìí òun ló ràn lọ́wọ́ mi but ìwà máa rò pé àbí kòkó bọ tàbí ṣíà bọ tàbí bọ̀bọ̀ ìlú tó ń dán lójú wẹ́dà ló ń jẹ́ ká package jáde ń jẹ oúnjẹ tó dáa gbogbo tí mo sì jẹ nísìn wọ́n ń bá mi ṣẹ̀ṣọ́ oúnjẹ ni lọ́sàn-án nísìn coffee péré mo ṣe mú láàárọ̀ ìyá mi gbé mi lékè mo tètè rí láàrin kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ grandma ń kọ́ ṣàlàáfíà lọ́wọ́ so àwa máa wà níbí kò ń ṣe pé à ń sọ̀rọ̀ láti máa fi nù yín lára ṣẹ́rí ẹ̀yin kọ́ni ṣẹ́rí ẹ̀yin Nigerians kí n pè ní ẹ̀yin Nàìjíríà ẹ̀yin kọ́ni mò ń bú ṣẹ́rí àwọn olóṣèlú wa láti ilẹ̀ Ìgbò láti ilẹ̀ Haúsá láti Middle Belt àti autumn ó lè ní gbogbo wọn autumn yẹn náà kàn ń lo agbárí ni pé kinní kan they are the same gbogbo the same they are the same but ìwọ ń wá bó ṣe fẹ́ jẹ lára ẹ̀ kí ló ní dmc Olúọmọ kó rán ẹ lọ sí Mẹ́kà fún kí ló fẹ́ rán ẹ lọ sí Mẹ́kà lọ ṣe tó bá ń ṣe pé criminal ni tí ìwọ bá ń ṣiṣẹ́ tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ mechanic tó kówó jọ kò kọ́ bá pé Mẹ́kà ní 5 million tó dẹ̀ ní owó wà á lọ fún Mẹ́kà fún rẹ̀ náà wà á lọ Jerusalem but ìtọ́fẹ́ ni pé kọ́kẹ́ wá máa tọrọ lábẹ́ wọn ìyẹn ń ṣe gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì mọ́ ẹ wo ní mo sọ fún Koiki Foundation ọwọ́ ń ju pálí núdù sí wàláì ó yẹ kẹ́ ju núdù ìyá ebi ń pa yín ẹni tẹ́bí ń pa máa jẹ oúnjẹ ọ̀tá ẹ̀ ọlọ́mọ ẹ̀ka jẹ oúnjẹ ọ̀tá wa Nàìjíríà ò lè ṣiṣẹ́ ẹ forget it ẹ má dá gbogbo àwọn àfáà àti ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì àti mọ́ṣáláṣí àtàwọn babaláwo tó ń sọ kò lè ṣiṣẹ́ ó ti late Tinubu ò lè gbé yín padà sí regional government ṣẹ́rí gbogbo kàjọ pé Tinubu máa wá tún Nàìjíríà ṣe yẹn ẹ forget gbèsè tó wà lórí Nàìjíríà ẹ̀yin ò dá tó ń pèlè economy mọ tó ń pèlè economy sórí ebi ń pa yín gbogbo kìíní yẹn economy Nàìjíríà ti wà ní standstill kò move ó dàbí omi adágbó ó mọ ṣé mo kò tẹ̀ Yorùbá mi ó ti ń lọ mo ti kúrò ní tipẹ́ Ìgbòho ṣá mo kúkú ní bá sọ òyìnbó Yorùbá la jọ ń sọ tòun dé Yorùbá ẹ̀ dẹ̀ dá báyìí tó bá sọ Yorùbá báyìí ó máa wọnú etí ẹni bá mi ṣe Ìgbòho ṣá ìmọ́lẹ̀ Yorùbá grandma ìyàwó Felicia ẹ̀kábọ̀mà so gbogbo tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn kò ń ṣe pé mò ń sọ̀rọ̀ sí yín àwọn olóṣèlú ló dá wàhálà sílẹ̀ wàhálà gbogbo ẹ̀yin youth wa tẹ́ ẹ máa ń wo program yìí tó bá ní íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì tó dáa mo sọ fún ẹ pé o lè máa ṣe tó ń pè ní adventures sórí nínú Nàìjíríà fún rẹ o lè máa káàkiri tó bá yẹ pé ìlú tó dáa ni kò lọ sí Bauchi kò shoot fídíò kò yẹ nísìn kò wọnú forest àwọn èèyàn ń wọnú forest lọ bó o ti mọ̀ pé tó bá lọ sínú forest tí nǹkan bá jẹ́ níbẹ̀ helicopter máa wá á dẹ̀ gbé láti bẹ̀ á gbé lọ sí hospital bó tó bá gbé ẹ dé lùtò kò máa kú dànù ní pam ó kú dànù pẹ́m ṣé ìlú wa nìyẹn irú èmi nísìn nígbà míì màá kọ́ ní weekend màá kọ́ sọ fún family pé mo ń ṣeré lọ nìyẹn mo lè lọ sí ọ̀nà ibi tí ó deep bí Cornwall Hall máa travel out máa wọ bus máa lọ máa wà nugbó máa jókòó bẹ́ẹ̀ máa wo reef máa wo stream àwọn ará mi go hello how are you where you from wọ́n ti máa mọ̀ pàmò I'm from London look you have a good time bó ṣe jẹ́ kó rí gangan náà nìyẹn omi adágún ẹ ṣé gan ni baba Rahim omi adágún Nàìjíríà ti di omi adágún á dẹ̀ máa rùn oríṣiríṣi nǹkan ló wà nínú ẹ̀ smelly country poverty stinking country àwọn òyìnbó máa wá parọ́ fún wọn wọ́n ní the biggest most populous black nation in Africa irọ́ ni o lọ sí South Africa kó wo bó ṣe ń disrespect àwọn bàbá àròlé tẹ́ntẹ́ àti gbogbo àwọn tó wà ní South àmọ́ páwọn Nigerians náà ní tiwọn lọ́wọ́ mo rí fídíò kan àwọn ọmọ Ìgbò náà ní tiwọn lọ́wọ́ bí Yorùbá ṣe ní tiẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ ní Ìgbò ní tiẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ kò sí ẹ̀yà tí kò ní criminal intent lára ìjọba ló máa gbà sílẹ̀ but ìdí tẹ́ ń ṣe wà criminal èèyàn kan pè mí lánàá níjẹta kọ́ ni ó ní inú tẹ̀ ó ní níbi torí ìyá tibí yẹn ó ní wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe meeting ẹ wà careful àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá dẹ̀ ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn tó pọ̀ jù ẹ̀yin lẹ pọ̀ jù nǹkan ṣẹjọ́ yín gbàtẹ́ ìríṣẹ́ ṣe so brain yẹn á máa ṣiṣẹ́ bó ṣe máa dá 1 àti 2 tó máa dódindi tó máa fi knock èèyàn tó máa fi ṣe jàǹbá fúnyàn lẹ́ni ẹ bá pè lọ́nà àwọn Ogun State wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe Zoom conference lórí Yorùbá Nation ẹ wà very very careful don't give anybody a code tó bá send OTP lọ́ máa pè tó bá send the code sí ẹ yàtọ̀ sí pé báńkì tó ń ṣe transaction but téèyàn kan bá pè ẹ Koiki fẹ́ ṣe meeting nìkan àbẹ̀ wọ́kọ̀ and Yorùbá Nation mú àwọn èèyàn nígbàyà irú ẹni sọ ń bínú sí ìyá yẹn gan so bá ṣe sọ pé wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe meeting báyìí òun rò pé meeting àwọn kóun lọ́gbọ́n tó fẹ́ sọ ni wàláì wọ́n override WhatsApp ẹ̀ ni. ṣe rí gbogbo brain yẹn èyí ló yẹ kí n máa bá wa ṣiṣẹ́ ní káàkiri gbogbo Nàìjíríà tó bá yẹ pé Nàìjíríà ń ṣiṣẹ́ nìyẹn o a máa build the Silicon Valley brain yẹn tẹ́ ẹ̀rí kankan fi ṣe yẹn brain tẹ́lẹ̀dùmarè fún yẹn ẹ wà lọ́fíìsì ẹ máa bá wa ṣe coding ẹ máa develop drone ẹ máa ṣe research bá ṣe máa store ṣáwa tí a ti jẹun la máa think about the next generation ìyẹn ní wọ́n ṣe kíá tó bá di ọ̀la nísìn ẹ lọ sórí Instagram gbogbo bá ṣe ìgbé àtòrí ọ̀la election pati ní gbòòlà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá pati ní àṣẹ pati àṣẹ àwọn olówó yẹn ìyẹn kan máa sọ fún ẹ pé òun ṣe òun ti kó irú Délé Mọ̀mọ́dù nísìn ẹ̀gbọ́n mi bàbá mi kan tẹ̀lé kí n máa pè é ẹ̀gbọ́n náà ló sì jẹ́ sí mi wọ́n dàgbà jù mí lọ ká dẹ̀ fún wọn ní respect ẹni èmi náà ti jìyà rí ìwọ náà gbogbo alágbọ́dọ̀ jìyà ká tó ṣoríire ni tí gbogbo alágbọ́dọ̀ jìyà tí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì bá wà in place tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ó nídìí láti jìyà púpọ̀ gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì máa fi sí policy ni there must be a policy that works policy ló ń pè é Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún mo sọ fún yín pé bàbá criminal àwọn boys yẹn Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún yẹn excel àbórí mu abẹ́mu kan kíta ló ń jẹ́ excellence is a criminal cargo airport tí ojoojúmọ́ tó ń ṣe airport yẹn tarmac nìkan ló ń ṣe tarmac ẹ lọ sórí Instagram ẹ tarmac nìkan ló ń ṣe plane akọ land investors have just landed ṣe àwọn tó ń pè ní investors yẹn àwọn tí wọ́n jọ ń ṣe kickback wọ́n ti lọ gba loan láti ka lórí ẹ̀ irú bó ṣe ṣe pẹ̀lú Petrolex nìyẹn gbogbo àwọn ọmọ bàbá ìjẹ̀kú yẹn bá criminal ni gbogbo àwọn ẹgbẹ́ criminals àti Adélabú àti Kòlábò 419 ìlú tó jẹ́ 419 grandma mi tó kú kọ́lọ́mbà àforúkẹ́ á ní Koiki anọmọ mi bá mi multiply 419 yẹn ẹ mọ̀ pé dé 419 tipẹ́tipẹ́ á ní kí n multiply it by 2 criminal intent. So why do you need anybody to give you wáṣẹ́ ní government o ṣètò wa lọ ń ṣe ètùtù òun lọ sí ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì kí ni gbogbo nonsense yẹn you take your CV wàá bẹ̀tẹ̀ wàá ṣe interview fún ẹ wàá mú ẹ wọlé o bá jẹ́ ọmọ Ọ̀ṣun state tó bá ti wá sí Lagos state o ní right láti ṣiṣẹ́ níbẹ̀ o bá jẹ́ ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú Òde tó bá ti lọ sí Kwara o ní right bó ṣe máa wáyé nìyẹn àkọ́kọ́ máa ronú nípa Yorùbá first America máa ń think about America first. But then listen, everybody's waiting for somebody. Sister mi tó send message lánàá ṣé mo mọ̀yàn ní Ìkẹjà generals why do I need to know anybody in a hospital before you go to the hospital and get something done for your life? O sick ni oríkọ̀ fún ẹni o ní migraine look anything lè ṣe yẹn anytime àkàngbàdúrà kọ́lọ̀ má fàárẹ̀ ṣe wá ni you will walk to the hospital okay kí ló ṣe yín mọ́mì ẹ jókòó next time mọ́mì ẹ bá má wá ẹ pè wá ìtàbátò wà ní Yorùbá nation ni wọ́n sọ yòókù ṣe ní ìlú òṣì Nàìjíríà yẹn mọ́mì ẹ bá má wá ẹ bá ti pè nọ́mbà yìí next time ẹ pè nọ́mbà yìí ẹ jẹ́ báyìí fi sórí fóònù yìí next time ẹ bá ti pè nọ́mbà yìí àárọ̀ mọ́tò kó wá gbé yín nílé ni bàbá 70 years old lánàá wọ́n pè wá lórí program wọ́n ṣe 22 years kọ́ lọ́nà àwọn ṣe ní iṣẹ́ tó ṣe wọ́n rán sọ pension fáwọn díẹ̀díẹ̀ owó fún ológun ọ̀fẹ́ ṣe nínú owó tó ń gbà nínú owó kéékèèké tó ń gbà yẹn ṣẹ́yìn ò mọ̀ pé gbogbo àwọn grandma tó wà labroad tó ti ṣiṣẹ́ 20 years orí 25 years wà àwọn kan tó lọ ń ṣe extra time nítorí ẹ̀yin ọmọ tẹ̀ wá nílé náà ni kó yẹ kí ìyá àgbàlagbà tó ti wọ 60 something tó ti lọ sí 70 ṣó yẹ kó sì máa sáré kẹ̀kẹ́ lórí underground lórí bus ó rò pé yìí sì a ní Nàìjíríà ṣiṣẹ́ kò lè ṣiṣẹ́ it's a mad country mo kí bàbá wa Dayọ̀ Sálàkọ wicked country but àwọn olóńdá wa dúró they are your politicians because àwọn náà ní ká wá lọ vote àwọn náà ní ká gbé voting system kẹ wá tẹ̀ka fáwọn ẹ tún fẹ́ lọ tẹ̀ lọ́la mẹ́rin àbí ntẹ̀ wá nìyẹn ẹ jẹ núdù sórí ẹ wá máa wá ẹ tó máa fún yín ní support wàá báyàwó ẹ̀sùn wàá lóyún wàá máa wá ń tẹ̀ kan labroad kó wá bẹ̀ ṣe kó mọ́ o fẹ́ ṣèyàwó ni o fẹ́ gbé sórí àǹtí ẹ o fẹ́ gbé sọ́dọ̀ ń pọ̀ ẹ̀ ṣọ́ ọ̀run ẹ̀ṣẹ́ tó bá yẹ pé system ṣiṣẹ́ ni you don't need anybody to be able to support you. àwọn ẹ̀dẹ̀ máa sọ ẹ ṣátà what do you know kí lè mímọ́ poverty ọmọ àlèdè ní poverty ẹ̀ka sàn lọ́dọ̀ wa ń bíbà ẹ̀ mọ́mí wa Fọláṣadé Òjó ẹ̀ka bọ̀ sórí ètò àwọn everyday tá a bá sọ fáwọn èèyàn a nílùú yìí ẹ jẹ́ ká stop ẹ̀ a ní láti bára wa jà a ní but àwọn olóṣèlú wọn ò fi lọ wọn ò fi kúrò ní Nàìjíríà náà wà lára kókó ọbẹ̀ tí wọn ẹ rí Desmond Elliot ọlá tsunami máa ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Lagos State èmi dúró ni Desmond Elliot tó wọ́n ń sá káàkiri nísìnyí ìyàwó mi ní pé owó tó ń jẹ nínú politics yẹn owó yẹn ń ṣe kékeré olóṣèlú nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ìtẹ́ǹsán yẹn politics is a lot of money in Nigeria that's why it's a do or die kò ń ṣe do or die lẹ́ni mẹ́ta ti lọ lánàá ní Ọ̀yọ́ State. Why do you have to kill each other? If you are going to serve the people, why do you have to kill each other? It's a question. Kí lẹ fẹ́ para yín fún? Pé ká dìbò yìí náà ni kí lẹ fẹ́ para yín fún? Ẹ̀dẹ̀ tí ń dìbò yìí náà láti 1999 kí ni result mú jáde? Mú result kankan jáde. Ẹ lọ sí Ondo State. Àní criminal ni gómìnà wa ní Ogun State. A ní àwọn investors. Mo tún rí tó hey, investors have just land with their jets. They are coming to talk about the cargo airport. All they want to do is kọ́kọ́ fífi raise the fund láti ta. Ẹ̀yin ò mọ bó ṣe ń lọ. Ìwọ tó kàn tẹ̀lé wọn kiri. Ìwọ ò mọ bó ṣe ń lọ. Jẹ́ kí èmi ṣàlàyé fún ẹ bó ṣe ń lọ. Ṣorí bó ṣe ń ṣe ni pé wọ́n fẹ́ gba loan níta. Ó mọ̀ pé state náà ní right láti gba loan. Ó kàn ní iye loan tó lè máa gbà jáde. Torí pé tọ́ ọ̀bá rí lónìí yẹn san ó ṣeé ṣe kó padà sórí federal government so tó máa ń ṣe ni pé irú project yẹn nísìn a wá lọ sign deal pẹ̀lú àwọn èèyàn níta wọn ní investors o púpọ̀ ní wọn criminal àwọn kan ẹ̀yin lẹ́rọ̀ pé òyìnbó ni wọn àwọn Lebanese àwọn criminal tó yẹ kí gbogbo wọn gbogbo àwọn olóògbé àti àwọn olùjágbàjàgbà yẹn criminal ló pọ̀ jù láàrin gbogbo wọn ìgbà wọn náà fún yín ní indomie dẹ́kọ̀ lánàá so tó bá ti wá lọ ìtẹ̀wọ̀dìmọ̀ ó lè jẹ́ pé as an example ká ní project nínú tó fi ṣe lógùn state yẹn kò sápá mi lórí èdè ṣe cargo airline àbí kí ni wọn kò ní sí cargo airport so cargo airport mo fi lé Ogun State ṣe example so project yẹn give and take ó lè jẹ́ pé to the tune of mo kàn fi mú ní o ká pé bí i $20 billion. Báwo ni state ṣe fẹ́ raise $20 billion? Ìtàn máa ṣe ni pé wọ́n máa wo investors wo ló lè gbé díẹ̀ ní owó yẹn wá kọ́dẹ̀ fún wọn ní lease pé àwọn tó wá ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ náà náà máa ṣe hangar lane tí plane máa park sí. Wọ́n lè ní okay irú àwọn tó lówó dáadáa àwọn àràbò àwọn yẹn fẹ́ ra gbogbo anything àwọn yẹn fẹ́ rà mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́. Àwọn Arab lè ní governor I can give $5 billion but kí la mọ̀ tí $5 billion yẹn tọ́fẹ́ kí ni stake tó wà lórí ẹ̀ á gba $5 billion ní bíbá ẹ̀ á tún wà another investors each owó tó ń gbà yẹn ó ní commission tí governor yín gbà lórí ẹ̀ ẹ káàsán Mr. Lanre Lamina sunny ó ní iye commission kan gbà and at the end of the day I can bet my life tó máa fi lọ kò ní project ṣe délẹ̀ ó dẹ̀ ti bọ́ lórí ẹ̀ wọ́n ti ṣe bí ìyẹn ni Oyetola ṣe tí Adeleke ń pariwo pé ẹ má ya lówó kankan mọ́ ó tún fẹ́ yá $80 billion a governor tó ń lọ tó tún fẹ́ yá $80 billion kí ló fẹ́ fi ṣe. And that's why they want to remain in Nigeria because tó bá wà nínú Nigeria especially tó jẹ́ pé party tiwọn PDP náà ṣe the same thing o for 16 years àwọn yẹn tẹ̀ jẹ́ mùlági ṣe rí ìjọba PDP yẹn criminal ló pọ̀ jù láàrin gbogbo wọn àwọn yẹn kàn ṣe vote ni that's the same thing APC ń ṣe lọ lọ́wọ́ yìí APC ti ṣe 8 years mọ́ yín lórí another 8 years ló tún fẹ́ máa lọ báyìí nísìnyí so at the end of the day project tí Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún fẹ́ ṣe nísìnyí wọ́n kọ́ máa ṣe ṣùkú ó lè má rí gbogbo 20 billion yẹn bọ̀ kó rí 10 billion gbà nínú 10 billion yẹn mo kí Pastor John ẹ̀ka wọ̀sà nínú 10 billion yẹn kò ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ náà lọ́ máa kó fún àwọn ìbò yẹn náà ti gbọ́n wọn náà máa rán irú China nísìn China máa ní no òun fún yín lówó òun trust anybody China ò trust anybody mọ́ nísìn so China máa ní ìtọ́ máa ṣe ni pé àwọn abáyín kọ but a bá máa kọ a máa kọ́ àwọn engineer tí kò cost China anything aircraft wà lọ́wọ́ China wọ́n gbogbo resources tó fẹ́ lò tí China fẹ́ lò àwọn làwọn máa kó wá pẹ̀lú human resources but wọ́n máa wá náà wọ́n nídìí ìgbà yẹn lọ́ máa nídìí ìwọ tó ń wò mí nísìn ìwọ ọmọ aládé wàá wá máa fi wọ̀ ṣe libra ìwọ ló máa ro pọ́npọ́n oríjà kan tó wà fídíò kan wà lórí Instagram tí bọ̀bọ́ yẹn tó bá ọmọ Chinese jà mo mọ ní bí workshop àbí construction site tó wà àbí wèrè nílé ní lórí ilẹ̀ wa torí gọ́vnà tí wọ́n ń pọ́nlé yẹn ó ti tàwọ́ àti state ẹ̀ ó ti tà ẹ́ dànù fáwọn Chinese lórí project yẹn ni mo sọ kò ń ṣe ní state o but project cargo airport yẹn gọ́vnà ti tàwọ́ pé Chinese mọ̀ pé àwọn ò lè kó gbogbo yàn wá but wọ́n máa kó àwọn tó jẹ́ engineer àwọn tó jẹ́ gbòógì nígbà mi ọ̀nà máa ń kó I don't have evidence to that but ọ̀nà máa ń kó àwọn prisoners náà wá láti wá ṣiṣẹ́ ní Nàìjíríà because àwọn wá cheap labour everybody wá so wá rí ìwọ tí òun wò mí nísìn tó ń point the finger lójoojúmọ́ project yẹn pọ́npọ́n ló máa rù lójoojúmọ́ níbẹ̀ even though pé ó jáde with a first class engineering certificate wàá lọ́bì títí wọn ò ní fún ẹ ní project yẹn ò ní rí project yẹn gbà but ìtọ́ máa sọ fún ẹ ní pé ṣó lè rú pọ́npọ́n ìwọ tó dẹ̀ nídìí owó wọ́n tún máa undercut ẹ̀ o mọ bá ṣe máa undercut ẹ̀ jẹ́ ìṣàlàyé fún ẹ súnmọ́ bíbá ìkó gbọ́ sórí ẹni tó gba contract yẹn gangan contract Nàìjíríà kó tó dọ́wọ́ tiẹ̀ ó ti kọjá èèyàn 10 so tọ́ba ní wọ́n máa san China lè wò pé òkè torí international law òun lòun fi ṣe project yẹn ó dẹ̀ láti employ àwọn tó wà ní local ó dẹ̀ níye minimum standard tó yẹ kó sọ fún ẹ mùmú wọ́n tó dákan mọ̀ ó léye standard tí wọ́n san but China ò fẹ́ jẹ́ kí wọ́n mọ̀ pé òun lòun fẹ́ undercut ìwọ náà á wá lọ gba irú ẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ tó ti di criminal náà gọ́vnà ló máa introduce ẹ̀ sí Chinese o pé eléyìí òun mọ bó ṣe máa ṣe because China mọ̀ pé tó bá lọ gbọ́ lọ́jọ́ ọ̀la ó lè lọ sue China ṣó mọ̀ pé ó lè sue company tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní Nàìjíríà níta ó lè mọ̀ ní jẹ́ kó mọ gbogbo eléyìí but nítorí pé ìdí tó ẹ̀ ṣe ń lè sue wọn ni pé wọ́n ti gbé contract yẹn kúrò lọ́wọ́ ara wọn wọ́n ti kọ contract yẹn níwèé débi pé tó bá máa fi contract yẹn síta nísìn anybody tá a bá employ níbí báyìí o kò ń ṣe Chinese company yẹn ló employ yẹn local contractor ló employ yẹn so ó lè gbé wọn lọ sí international law court tó bá kú ní orí site òkú tẹ ó dàbọ̀ because Chinese kò ló employ yẹn gbogbo ẹni tẹ́ ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní Nàìjíríà mo sọ fún gbogbo àwọn foreigner tẹ́ ń bá ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn ṣiṣẹ́ direct pẹ̀lú wọn dẹ̀ ní full contract gan anyway 0 contract lẹ́ni mùmú àwádìílá nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ó wá níwọ̀ tí gbalẹ̀ mọ́ ẹ lọ́wọ́ oh my God gbogbo tí wọ́n fi jẹ́ kẹmọ̀ lélẹ̀ yìí wọ́n fi jẹ́ kẹmọ̀ gbogbo eléyìí because tó bá mọ eléyìí wàá máa bá ọmọ kò lè sùn gọ́ọ̀bùn ẹ níta láì ṣe nínú ẹ̀ ó lè sùn ẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà because òfin Nàìjíríà protect gọ́ọ̀bùn ẹ so project tí wọ́n rò pé ọmọ ìyá Délé mo mà ti rí iṣẹ́ ẹ̀yìn níbo lẹ ti rí ṣé o mọ ní tí gómìnà wa tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ lé níjọ́sí cargo airport yẹn wọ́n ti employ ní ìyá Délé akọ́kọ́ lọ church láàárọ̀ ọ̀la a tún lọ fún church lówó àdúpẹ́ bàbá Délé tí kò tí confirm pé iṣẹ́ tó rí yẹn ó máa ṣe délẹ̀ kò ń ṣèpè all they just need bàbá Délé for ni pé ṣó lè rú pọnpọ́n ṣó lè lu blikaria ẹ lọ mú bàbá Délé wá and eventually wàá gbé bàbá délé dé bàbá délé wa máa ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn ẹ mọ̀ pé tó ti wáṣẹ́ wọ́n á máa san ká tẹ̀sẹ̀ pọ́n san 30,000 naira fún ẹ nínú 30,000 yẹn bàbá délé tún máa san commission fẹ́ni tó introduce ẹ̀ àní nàìjíríà criminal country ní nàìjíríà eventually gbogbo owó tí bàbá délé máa mú wọlé bí i 25,000 gọ́vnà ní yọ táàkì lórí ẹ ó mọ̀dí because gọ́vnà ó ti ta ayé ẹ ó ti tà dànù tí bàbá délé bá wá ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní factory pẹ̀lú pé wọ́n ń ṣe cargo airport níbi tó ti ń tó ń lọ tó ń bọ̀ tó ń lọ tó ń bọ̀ ìjọ kan á wà bàbá délé akọ̀gbé pọnpọ́n akọ̀ṣubú ni ìbàdí bá kán ta ló máa hold responsible ṣòfin pé Chinese company tó ń bá ṣiṣẹ́ ó mọ̀ kí wàá máa rò pé China bí Chinese company ló bá ṣiṣẹ́ irọ́ ló pa ọ́ contractor local ló ń bá ṣiṣẹ́ bàbá délé lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ọmọ máa bí bàbá délé pé ṣó náà àbúrò mi tó tún lè replace ẹ̀. This is some of the reason why we need to get away from Nigeria. Mo kàn fele ó pọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ o ní different sector mo kàn lo cargo airport ti Gaiman governor ó lè Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún yẹn Gaiman criminals. Ìyẹn kan wá sọ fún mi pé wọ́n fi gbalẹ̀ Igbo fi gbalẹ̀ wa àti mọ̀ ìtí gọ́vnà ti tàdánù ní Ogun State. And this is the reason why they don't want due diligence. Kò sí due diligence. Kò sẹ́ni tó wá ṣọ́mọ̀ pé nínú airport yẹn mo ní right as a journalist láti sọ pé mo fẹ́ freedom of information lórí gbogbo contract tí wọ́n release the project yẹn. Mo ṣọ́ máa release ẹ̀ fáwọn journalist tó ń tẹ̀lé wọn kiri. Yé governor mo máa rí wọn. Àwọn aṣọ lóòrùn wọn àwọn journalist rídọ̀tí táwọn ẹbí lò gbogbo ilẹ̀ ń gbowó lọ́wọ́ governor. Mo rí àṣírí yín ẹ get out. Mo rí àṣírí yín nígbà tí mo wá sí Ògùn tí olórí kókó yẹn tó máa adéfìlà báyìí dìrìlẹ̀ gbogbo kí ló ń pè yẹn ìtókùrò ń bẹ̀ ẹ̀rọ mi létí ẹ̀ former governor tó wà lógùn state olè Ìbùkúnlé Amósùn criminal ìyàwó ẹ̀ á máa wò báyìí olè ní gbogbo wọn èdè envelope ló máa fún yín ọtí mọ envelope ọtí package ẹ̀ and the press governor press Amosun all criminals you're all brown ìyẹn lè ṣe lè béèrè kọ́kọ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn because kí ló fẹ́ béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹni tó ń fún ẹ lówó kí ló fẹ́ béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ but tírú àwa bá ní ẹ fún mi ní gbogbo information under the Freedom of Information Act of Ogun State law mo fẹ́ mọ bí contract talẹ̀ assign ẹ̀ fún talẹ̀ gbé fún ṣèbí yẹn ni gbogbo tí wọ́n rí Lagos Ìbàdàn express ò ṣe ṣèbí baba Alákin ìyẹn náà gba contract gbogbo ẹ̀ ṣe mọ́kọ airport mọ́kọ all criminals. Assalamu alaikum Keso Baba, peace be unto you as well. And when we talk that we want a country that is different from Nigeria, how do you understand? Báwo lẹni tó ẹni tó ní understanding gbogbo tí mo sọ yìí sí báwo ló ṣe fi gẹ́tẹ̀ pé ìta ń jà fún mi léyìí ọkọ rẹ pé mo ń pariwo lórí social media ni due diligence where everybody will be held or hold accountable including myself in Yoruba land. Ìta sọ pé a fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation fún nìyẹn kò ní jẹ́ pé àkànná fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation nìkan fún language àbí adé a fẹ́ deal pẹ̀lú ra wa gbọ́n sẹ́ẹ̀. So that wàá lè ní right wàá lè ní ẹ̀tọ́ wàá lè ní tó ń pè ní human rights ní human rights nísìnyí. So a lot of you look at projects in your state. Some of those projects we don't even know the kind of lease tó ti gbé fún wọn. They are 200-year lease ni. Ṣèbí amalgamation 100 year là ń sọ kí ni a mọ̀ tí Ogun State Amosun ìyẹn ní gbogbo òun ṣe fi ṣe the same project. Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún nísìn tó bá jẹ́ pé system tó ṣiṣẹ́ ni ó yẹ kí Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún continue mú kí yàrá comfort Ológunjà ẹ káàbọ̀ mọ́ ó jẹ́ kí Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún máa continue project Amosun ni but because they are all criminals ní gbogbo wọn ó máa dà yẹn nù àná òun ṣe fi start project tòun why must you start your own project ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n ní governance is government is continuity lè kó jẹ́. And you want us to come and say these are the people that we will now say we endorse, we continue with Nigeria. The structure tí Nigeria wà lórí ẹ̀ kódà kò sẹ́nibọ̀dì tó lè tún ṣe. Structure tá à ń lò nínú Nigeria yẹn, structure tó fi ń run election, structure tó fi ń ṣe governance, structure tó fi ń dictate life ẹ̀ kò sẹ́ni kankan tó lè change ẹ̀. Gbogbo ìtàwọn Labour Party ń ṣe tsunami yẹn irọ́ náà ní gbogbo ẹ̀. Ìwọ̀nba tó lè máa ṣe náà lọ ń push yẹn ṣùgbọ́n tí ẹ yẹ ká máa wòran ẹ fi pé Peter Obi máa win ní election ní court ìjà ló máa parí gbogbo tó wà nílẹ̀ iṣẹ́ ìjà gidi. Location 9 is a prison ó ju prison kan lọ kọ prison kan wà labroad láwọn ọ̀nà ó rà pé Denmark àbí Netherlands ayé làwọn ń jẹ níbẹ̀. Mr. Koiki, a guy died at Apapa court as a labor. The lawyer take the company to court and they gave money, but the family did not know how much they gave to the lawyer. Ìyọ́n ní ọ̀kan kú ní Apapa court. Mo kí ìyàwó ẹ̀bẹ̀rẹ̀ gbọ̀ngàn ní Ọláyẹmí Àbọ̀wálé. So these are what we are fighting. Ìdájà fún lélẹ̀. Kò ń ṣe pé ká pàmò ní Yorùbá nation. These are all the nitty-gritty yẹn gangan. Òun ni adùn tá a fẹ́ jẹ. Because nitty-gritty ló máa lè sọ pé okay, let Ogun State missing ní Airbnb, right? We can set up something like that. Ní Uber system because gbogbo àwọn mọ́tò pàkàpàkà tẹ́kọ̀ tó ń travel káàkiri yẹn àwọn mọ́tò yẹn ká ti condemn gbogbo ẹ̀. Báyìí tí máa tẹ̀ build mọ́tò tiwa gbogbo mọ́tò tó bá máa kó wá sínú Ogun State ó gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ brand new. A dẹ̀ máa make sure pé gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń bẹ nínú Ogun State gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tó wá ṣiṣẹ́ nínú Ogun State a ní rẹ́kọ̀dì yín lọ́wọ́. Àwa ni Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Good morning. Good morning. Àdìsọ́ òyìnbó. Ẹ káàárọ̀ sà. Irú mọ́tò lẹ fẹ́ lò. Àwọn mọ́tò kan tẹ̀ sí dé nísìn ọ̀bọ̀kan lọ́yẹ́ ni. Ẹ jẹ́ ká wò àwa jókòó sínú ẹ̀. Ilé ìdẹ̀dà ẹlẹ́dà city ni air condition ẹ̀ ọlọ́yẹ́ ni tó bá tẹ bá gbé lọ tó bá dákẹ́ pẹ́m àá gbé recovery àá gbé mi fún yín. Ṣé ọmọ tí mo fi mọ́tò yẹn ṣe mo fi ṣe taxi. Bá a ṣe ń ṣe láàbùrọ̀dù nìyẹn omigbọ̀n. Tó bá réyàn tó dúró sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ Mercedes APR ni ó ń san díẹ̀díẹ̀ because sórí ìlú táwa wà yìí wọ́n ò fi níyàn lára ìlú tó máa bí ẹ pé tó bá wà nílùú yìí tó bá ti ṣírò gbogbo bills tó wọlé fún ẹ ó jẹ gbèsè ní o ìwọ náà ló jẹ gbèsè yẹn o bí o jẹ gbèsè £5,000 ok o ti ń san ní díẹ̀díẹ̀ tó bá tó wá bẹ́ẹ̀ calculate bí a ní sí £5,000 o kàn san bí a bí £50 every month wàá máa bí ẹ pé ṣe olọ́mọ nílé àmọ́ olọ́mọ ṣé o ti san gáàsì ìta ẹ àmọ́ ó ti lọ sókè ok má tún san £50 mọ́ máa san £25 àti wàá rí àwọn ọmọ àlè Yorùbá kan nísìn wọ́n ti wà nínú council ní UK yìí a máa dín pẹ̀lú gbogbo yín àwọn yẹn ìkan pè bẹ́ẹ̀ ó pe family wa kan bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n jọ ń sọ̀rọ̀ ó wá ń bi wọ́n pé jẹ́ ọlọ́fẹ́ sanwó yẹn tán bàbá ẹ̀ ló lówó yẹn ìbówó ìjọba ni. That is how local government ló ṣe jókòó máa operate fún yín nìyẹn ó yẹ kó lè máa lọ sí local government whether for local government Èkìtì local government whether Ìwájọwà local government Ṣakí local government Àtisbo Àtíbá Ìbàràpá Kéde local government láàárọ̀ ẹ káàbọ̀ bàbá wa kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ omi gbóná ṣiṣẹ́ nínú ilé tẹ fún mi yẹn o ẹ má bínú dádì ẹ bá má wá ẹ bá pè wá àárọ̀ Kóìkì iṣẹ́ tiẹ̀ nìyẹn plumber àwa tún ṣe bó ṣe ń ṣe nílùú òyìnbó nìyẹn ọ̀dẹ̀ ayé tá à ń sọ pé ká wá jẹ nìyẹn gbogbo wa kọ́ la fẹ́ kọ́lé ẹ fẹ́ kọ́lé ẹ fẹ́ para yín dànù ni ìyẹn lẹ ṣe ń para yín why must everybody build a house government á máa kọ́ low cost housing tó máa ká àwọn èèyàn sínú ẹ̀ tó bá dẹ̀ ṣe ń bímọ nílùú yìí ọkùnrin àtọbìnrin àwọn ọmọ kéékèèké tó bá ti ń dé éèjì kan wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ kúrò nínú yàrá ara wọn wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ máa sùn lọ́tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ mo ṣe pé kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ àtọmọ kékeré àti bàbá ẹ wá smelly ẹ ń sùn nínú one room smelly stinking country. Government is meant to build low cost housing fún gbogbo everybody. wá máa ọmọ mélòó lẹni sá ọmọ 5 ẹ máa ní ilé tó tóbi lẹ́yìn máa fẹ́ ilé tó dá ó dá ẹ lọ wọlé yìí ṣe nífẹ̀ẹ́ bá ṣe ń ṣe fún wa nígbà yìí nìyẹn wà lọ wọlé àwọn kan ti fi jalè náà àwọn Yorùbá kọ̀ọ̀kan àwọn máa pariwo Ìgbò ni o Ìgbò ó lè ní ẹ ti fi jalè ní UK káwa tó dé ẹ ti balẹ̀ jẹ́ ká tó dé mad people all over the place inú á pariwo Yorùbá nation ẹ ní pariwo Yorùbá nation because criminal ló pọ̀ jù ní gbogbo yín ẹ ti balẹ̀ jẹ́ káwa tó dé especially àwọn tó dé in the 80s àwọn kan dé wọ́n lo council bíi wọ́n lo yọ nígbà táwa dé ta fi máa gba ilé ìwé ẹgbẹ́ gbà ẹlòmíì gbalé 5 ẹlòmíì gbalé 6 nílùú táwọn gbé iná ni criminals wàá tún máa fi rent kò gbé níbi báyìí ìyẹn lẹ máa ń rí àwọn tó máa ń pẹ́ Nàìjíríà wàá máa wọ́ndà pé kí eléyìí ò níṣẹ́ ní UK ni kò lè níṣẹ́ because ó ń fi ilé council fi rent ní criminal àǹtí ẹ ó lè criminal àǹtí ẹ irú àǹtí ẹ yẹn ni kò ní support kàgbà Yorùbá nation ní sí because ó lè ní ọ̀pọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ìlú ìlú ṣẹ̀bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń dé pẹ̀lú gbogbo wọn kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ kẹ̀ pé ìwọ náà ló nílé eléyìí wọ́n wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí link alias tí UK bá ti ń lo alias kó mọ̀ pé nìyẹn olórúkọ púpọ̀ ni tó bá ti ń pe Mr. Olayomi Koiki alias kó mọ̀ pé mo tuntun lórúkọ mi níbò mí nìyẹn tó bá kúrò ní bọ́rọ̀ ní bíbá wà lọ sókùn state wà gbalé níbẹ̀ wà lọ sọ́yọ́ wà gbalé níbẹ̀ wọ́n ṣe ń ṣe nìyẹn ó lè ní gbogbo wọn ó lè ní ìlú wọn pariwo Yorùbá ní kò ní jẹ yín ni mo sọ mad people all over the place wọ́n á sọ pé Yorùbá nation ẹ̀yin wá ní no ẹ̀yin dẹ̀ ẹ̀yin jayé ní UK ẹ̀yin jayé lamẹ́ríkà ẹ̀yin jayé ní Canada àwọn èèyàn ti wá ń tọrọ lọ́wọ́ yín ẹ máa ṣọ́kú ni mo sọ yẹn mad people all over the place ìkànnì ìlú wa ń pariwo Yorùbá nation náà yẹn shut up ṣẹlẹ̀ Yorùbá nation ló ń pariwo Yorùbá nation ló ń pariwo ẹ̀kọ́ criminal ló pọ̀ jù nínú yín criminal ni yín wọ́n ti dí pẹ̀lú yín bẹ́ẹ̀ ni alias tó bá ti ń gbọ́ alias nílùú yìí ẹnìyẹn ti ọlọ́pàá ti dá wọn mọ̀ tó bá ti dá dúró báyìí what's your name Olayomi Koiki tọ́lọ́pàá bá gbà sórí ọlọ́pàá lùi tó bá dẹ̀ dúró kò fẹ́ mọ who you are ìwọ́sà ti sọ̀tọ̀ fún tó o bá sọ̀tọ̀ fún ó máa mọ̀ mo drive van bọ̀bọ̀ kan níjọ́ ó ti pẹ́ ẹ̀rọ tí mo sọ ẹ̀ ọmọ Ghana ni ní side bí myland dáàni ẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀ tó bá ti panú ẹ̀ báyìí bátìrì ọ̀dà nígbà tẹ ọlọ́pàá yẹn ní panu bọ́ ọ́nà mo nínú mo ní báàlì tá a bá ti panú ẹ̀ kò ní múvo ọlọ́pàá náà rẹ̀ yẹn ló a ní panú báàlì sẹ́yìn tẹ̀ wọ́n fẹ́ èmi dẹ̀ ní full license ní bá fún mo lọ sí south east ni níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn ní bá fún ní license mi ló bá lọ sí èmi tí kò sí mọ́tò tí ní kí n paná mo ń tẹ́ ọlọ́pàá a máa ti mọ́tò ilé mi ẹ̀ tí mo kankan but in tóun bá wá gangan ó kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ mọ̀ ta ní identity tó ní mọ́tò yìí because wọ́n ti rí pé ẹni tó ń drive àti license ó yàtọ̀ bò má ṣàlàyé fún yín nígbà tó gbé license tèmi lọ sínú mọ́tò wọn wọ́n check ẹ̀ pápápápápápá ó ní full license but ọlọ́pàá yẹn bi mí pé ṣé mo ní insurance lórí ẹ̀ mo ní no pé but èmi ní full insurance but sometimes o lè ní full insurance kó má tún cover mọ́tò mi tó wà but èmi like van gan eventually nígbà tó padà ọlọ́pàá yẹn dé padà ó ní van tí mò ń sọ pé mo ní insurance lórí ẹ̀ ó ní ṣé bí ọmọ oníbí àmọ́ ò mọ̀ ó ní ẹni tó ṣe insurance van yẹn cover èmi fúnra mi pé as long as ẹni tó bá ti ní full driver license ó wà cover ṣe rí bí wọ́n gbọ́gbọ́n inú mi kọ́kọ́ dùn bọ́ ṣé ọ̀rọ̀ táwọn sọ yìí mo ti dé police station lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ náà wàláì because tó bá ń check àwọn rẹ́kọ̀dì kan tó bá rí rẹ́kọ̀dì yẹn délẹ̀ dáadáa wàá kọ́kọ́ gbé ẹ lọ sí station the nearest station tó bá ti wá gbé ẹ dé station a máa gba fingerprint gbogbo ara wa tábà délẹ̀ Yorùbá a fẹ́ mọ who is criminal láàrin gbogbo wa tó ẹlòmíì ó ti ṣe jàǹbá tó bá lọ sí Kwara state a fẹ́ mọ̀ pé you are the same criminal tó pààyàn ní Lagos state kó má tó máa lọ gbé ní Lagos state kó má bàa pààyàn tó bá tó lọ bímọ síbẹ̀ ó dẹ̀ ti pàyàwó ẹ̀ ní Lagos state à ń wọ ẹ̀ kiri nígbà tí mo dé station ó ní kí n tẹ fingerprint mo dẹ̀ kúkú mọ títè mi wọ́n check ẹ̀ wọ́n rí pé everything clear ó wá dá mi padà wá sí ó wá ń bi mí pé ṣé mo mọ̀ pé van yẹn pé ẹni tó ṣe insurance yẹn insurance tó ṣe àwọn insurance tó dání pé because ó cover ẹ̀mí fúnra ara mi as long as tí mo ní license ṣẹ́rí bó ṣe sọ yẹn ìkùnmọ̀ mo wá ń sọ fún ọlọ́pàá yẹn pé ṣe rántí pé mò ń sọ fún ẹ lẹ́ẹ̀kan pé van yẹn ò kì í start tá a bá ti paná ẹ̀ wàhálà ni láti start ẹ̀ ọlọ́pàá yẹn ní no problem wọ́n tún ṣe gbé mi wọnú mọ́tò wọn nìyẹn a wá padà sí myland ọwọ́ ní ìgbà tí mo dẹ̀ drive ní Nàìjíríà wọ́n ní kí n máa yọsẹ̀ fún mọ́tò ní àmọ́ àwọn eléyìí ní bá ń yọsẹ̀ sí kò lọ but then àwọn ọlọ́pàá máa wà very very intelligent ìkọ́kọ́ wà sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ mọ́tò ó ní ṣé mo ní breakdown ni mo ní mo ní breakdown èbí mo sọ fún yín kẹ́tó stop mi ní bíbá ó ní ó yẹ kí ní breakdown mo ní mi ò ní breakdown bó ṣe sáìtì jump cable nínú van yẹn ó ní mo ní jump cable mo ní ó ní kí ló dé tẹ́mi ò sọ fáwọn pé èmi ní jump cable mo ní tẹ̀bẹ́ àwọn làwọn náà fẹ́ push mọ́tò àwọn méjì ni wọ́n àtàwọn tó wà ní area yẹn ọ̀ṣà ń bá wọn ti mọ́tò yẹn mọ̀ pé van ládẹ̀ ni tẹ́rù dẹ̀ wà nú ẹ̀ bọ̀bọ́ yẹn máa ń taṣọ ni jeans ló máa ń tà ní Sunday market tó wà ní Vauxhall market àwọn tó wà ní UK mọ̀bí tí mo sọ ní England ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo sọ ti pẹ́ some 10-12 years ago or probably 15 years ago so bí yẹn ṣe wá nìyẹn wọ́n wá bí mi pé ṣé mo ní breakdown bójú ẹ̀ ṣe rí in tó wà ní this is how you train a police is meant to be your friend kò ní ṣe tó wà Nàìjíríà tó ń bá ti yín jẹ́ lójoojúmọ́ tó ń yìnbọn pa yín eventually bó ṣe rí jump start yẹn nìyẹn ó ní mo bá ti sọ látẹ̀kọ́ náà àwọn adé fi mọ́tò tàwọn bá mi start van yẹn pé bọ̀ kí n make sure ká lọ get battery ọlọ́pàá yẹn get good battery van yìí dáná wọ́n ṣe lọ gbé bm wọn wá nìyẹn first time tí máa rí ọlọ́pàá tó ṣe bonnet tí mo wo mọ́tò yẹn bá BMW wọ́n ṣe gbé charger lè báyìí tí mo jọwọ́ sílẹ̀ nǹkan ó start ni ó wá anytime tó bá ti dá mi dúró kí n máa sọ pé mo ní full covered insurance ó mọ tí mo fẹ́ lò ń bẹ̀ gangan first and foremost your identity is important nígbà míì tó bá ń ṣe check ṣòro àwọn tó máa ń ṣe check yẹn àwọn tó wà ní London mo tí mo sọ àwọn ọlọ́pàá kan wà every weekend ló máa ń kó wọn wá sí area kan jurisdiction wọn kọ́ nìyẹn but wọ́n record wọn wá síbẹ̀ there because there is a lot of pressure in that area wọ́n lè má lè check gbogbo details ẹ̀ lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ìyẹn ló gbé mi dé police station láti lọ ṣe final check pé lótìtọ́ lódodo èmi ni mo sọ pé mi ò jẹ́ báyìí and this is ẹ káàbọ̀ ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Michaela so gbogbo ilé tá à ń sọ yìí ara tí ó fẹ́ development kò sí development nílẹ̀ Yorùbá o Eunice good morning kò sí development kankan nílẹ̀ Yorùbá it is all zero there is no development and for us pé ká máa ní afẹ́ development àkọ́kọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ sọ pé if I commit a crime in Yoruba land today within 48 hours all the network within Yoruba land should be given the same information circulated into their system with my picture so that by the time I drive past another police kò ń ṣe police wà lójú títì mo sọ tí máa fi máa dé Abẹ́òkúta ó jẹ́ kí ọlọ́pàá Abẹ́òkúta lè sọ pé mọ́tò tí wọ́n ń wá tó jẹ́ ti Olayomi Koiki ó ti wà nínú Abẹ́òkúta plate recognition ló ń pè tó bá mọ tán jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ it's called plate recognition ó máa pick number ẹ plate number mi ó máa pick ẹ ó máa sọ fún ọlọ́pàá Birmingham pé ẹni tẹ́ ẹ̀ wá yẹn ó ti wà nínú Birmingham and the next thing is they start monitoring with the cameras níbo ló tún lọ this is what we are saying we want and you want us to come and live in your stinking nonsense country where we are saying it's not working ìjọ ọ̀làfẹ́ máa ṣe yẹn kaloma nọ́ọ̀sì APC PDP Labour Party AAC accord yẹn náà tún ṣe ọ̀nà kan wà lọ́yọ̀ state they are criminals they don't want a society that works problem táwọn politician yìí fẹ́ nìyẹn Oriyomi Hamzat I say ìmọ̀rí tó ń work Oriyomi Hamzat no for your state no contest clear is that it Elewo Kokun Foundation they were throwing noodles to people yesterday box of noodles in 2021 or 2023 in 21st century they were throwing box of noodles to Lagosians and they were all àwọn ilé bí náà ẹ lọ sí ojú Kokun Foundation and he can post that on his timeline and when we say it is not working it is just not working and it can never work mo kí ìyàwó àmójúpẹ́ Adégúnwà but gbogbo tí bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ fi ṣe can still be done We have our own satellite. Àṣẹ máàpù gbogbo. Èwo tí lélẹ́yìí tó ṣiṣẹ́ dé nísìn tó ní Koiki dì sí ta níbo ni wọ́n ti wáyé? Àdúgbò ló ti já wáyé. Bí àkọ́kọ́ lọ wò iná. Mo ń bọ̀ ẹ fún mi ní few seconds. I just saw a comment now. Àwọn máa lè. Àwọn ọmọ ọ̀ràn kírun. Yẹn dé pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ náà mo ń bọ̀. Mo rí comment yẹn nísìn. Ó ní èmi ni deceiver. Bàbá ẹ̀ ni deceiver. Ẹ̀yin ọmọ ọ̀ràn kírun. Ó lọ dé pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. To put comment ẹ̀ padà. Ẹ rí. Kò lè gbé picture tiẹ̀ síta. Ẹni tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí nísìn kò lo picture tiẹ̀. Because they are all working for the criminal intent politician. Ẹ rí. I can see him here. Kò ní picture. He doesn't have a picture. And these are the criminals that we should deal with by the time we get Yoruba Nation. Gbogbo yín pátápátá ẹ máa jẹ gbá. We will deal with every one of you. Mali. Like I said, so many people that are Yorubas are criminals that doesn't want the Yoruba Nation because they are used to that criminality. Tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. They are used to that. They are used to the criminality. Tó máa rí money yẹn. Mad people all over the place. Ẹ máa wálé ẹ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan. Adé pẹ̀lú yín ní bíbá. Ẹ rò pé mi jọ àtọ̀lé Tinubu tó ń tọ́ káàkiri. Tẹ́kùn ẹ̀ tí ń jò. Tó yẹ kó lọ máa tọ́jú fámìlì ẹ̀. Àbẹ̀ rò pé mi jọ gọ́vnà yín Sanwó-Olú olè. The will of Elédùmarè will happen tomorrow. Tó bá fi ṣẹlẹ̀ ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́la. Tsunami tó ń bọ̀ ẹ̀ para yín APC PDP Labour Party. Lagos lọ́la ẹ̀yìn ìbọn para yín dáadáa. A máa rí tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ because message sí MC Olúọmọ give up yẹn Sanwó-Olú mọ̀ nípa ẹ̀ Tinubu dẹ̀ mọ̀ nípa ẹ̀. Ọmọ kírun Dizzy 123 good morning. So as I'm going to be wrapping up mo fẹ́ kó ju 2 hours lọ nǹkan mo ṣe máa fẹ́ wá ní later láti wá ṣe more program. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí i. Let's remain firm. Tó bá ń pariwo politics Yorùbá Nation làwa fẹ́ and it is our right. And our rights will be respected whether they like it or not. Ó súnmọ́ bọ̀ díẹ̀díẹ̀ ni. Ẹ má fi ẹ̀mí sí pé kò ní bọ́ sí. Bóyá àwọ̀ tó ń wò pé ṣé kí ni ìdí ìbọ̀ sí báyìí? Ìwọ máa wò bẹ́ẹ̀ máa bọ́ sí. Ó kù díẹ̀ nìbọn ló lọ sọ. Gbogbo game tó ń play, gbogbo politics tó ń play àti ta ló ti ń make directives yẹn. Ntí kò yẹ yìí ni. Gbogbo election tó ń ṣe ní Nàìjíríà pátá àwọn tó ń to ètò yẹn àti ta ni and it has been like that ẹ lọ wo history yẹn padà 1959 election tó kọ́kọ́ máa ṣe gbàrà ní Nàìjíríà Britain lórí gẹ̀ fún àwọn Haúsá fún North kò tí ì sí Fúlàní nígbà yẹn o ṣe mọ̀ pé Fúlàní overthrow Haúsá ni la ṣe ń gbọ́ wọ́n yàtọ̀ ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni wọ́n Fúlàní ọ̀tọ̀ Haúsá ọ̀tọ̀. So gbogbo election táwọn ará kan conduct election kò sí military coup tó lọ ní gbogbo Nàìjíríà tí ìlú yóò mọ̀ nípa ẹ̀ àti Amẹ́ríkà gbogbo ọlọ́mọ nípa ẹ̀ and they don't want the Yoruba people to flourish but lókè wọn máa sọ fún mi pé the human mo kẹ́mbẹ̀ assist wọn ní ẹ human right ani human right so ibi tá a máa fi sí for now ni I have just about 11 minutes or 10 minutes less mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tí ẹ mọ̀ pé lóòtítọ́ ló Yorùbá Nation lẹ́yìn ṣe ẹ ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú election ẹ jókòó lẹ́yìn mo kí yàrá Fatima salamu alaykum ọ̀la jimoh ẹ̀mí ẹ jókòó sí lẹ́yìn àwọn tó fẹ́ lọ vote ẹ fi wọ́n lẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ kó lọ vote a lè mú yín mọ́lẹ̀ ẹ lọ vote problem tí nìyẹn but one thing is vote ò lè solve the problem tó wà ní Nàìjíríà ó ti kọjá ọ̀rọ̀ pé à ń dìbò fún yàn kan lọ from the state the federal the local it cannot work it will never work forget about gbogbo tí ṣe wọn kí n bá lóye máa ń ṣe analysis tó yẹ gbogbo ẹ̀ kò lè work Forget about gbogbo àwọn TVC, NTA, AIT. It cannot work. It is too late to rectify the damage that has been done in Nigeria. King Mirado Mokin Baba Olawoye Sonya. Mo gbàgbé ìta wà lórí Mixlr. Efficacy say no human right in Nigeria is only Yoruba nation that can restore human right being lost in the zoo country. Allow Baba. Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi dáadáa mo kí yín. Tomorrow is the hot between Lagos people. Àwọn máa wà níbàyìí. Má ṣe program lọ́la lágbára Ọlọ́run. Àmọ́ monitor tó ń lọ sí tó kàn. As I leave you in the hands of Elédùmarè, mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. Ẹ má fi ìrẹ̀wẹ̀sì pé Yorùbá nation is a movement, struggle ni until tá a máa fi gbà. Oríṣiríṣi ọ̀nà dẹ́ẹ̀ la lè fi gbà. A lè fi peace gbà, a lè fi pieces gbà, a lè fi violence gbà, a lè fi diplomacy gbà. Oríṣiríṣi ọ̀nà ni. But the most important thing is a gbọ́dọ̀ máa ṣíra wa ní tí lójoojúmọ́ pẹ̀lú oríṣiríṣi ọ̀rọ̀. Eléyìí tí mo fẹ́ kẹ́ mú jáde lẹ́nu ni pé tí bá tẹ̀ ríṣẹ́ lábẹ́ cargo airport tí Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún fẹ́ ṣe. Ṣé gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún ló ń employ mi ìyẹn àkọ́kọ́? Ṣé àwọn Chinese àbáwọn Lebanese àbáwọn Qatar tó gbéṣẹ́ yẹn fún ṣáwọn ni wọ́n employ mi àbí local? These are the important things that a lot of you don't understand. Wọ́n pè ní the nitty-gritty. Nígbà táwa náà dé ìlú yìí, ní right, especially àwọn táwọn ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú agency, òfin ló bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí change pé ẹni tó bá ń ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú agency kò ń ṣèyàn ni. Mo ṣeré o. At some point, o ò ní lè gba holiday tó bá ń ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú agency. So agency dẹ̀ máa ṣe kí ni? Wọ́n á rán wọn lọ sí hotel táwọn full time staff ti lọ holiday. Ìwọ ò nílò fẹ́ òun lè holiday. Then kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? The law started changing. Òfin ló máa fi change society, and society náà rẹ̀ fi change. Ṣẹ́rí gbogbo criminal intent tó wà lára àwọn èèyàn, society ló máa change ẹ̀. Ẹ kọ́kọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ provide the enabling environment fáwọn èèyàn. Provide an enabling environment. Ẹ wá ní wọ́n ṣe yahoo yahoo, wọ́n máa ṣe yahoo náà. Ọmọ tó jí láàárọ̀ tó ń fẹ́ kọrin, tí voice ẹ̀ ń dùn bíi sugar tí ó ní, tí kò rí studio lọ, tí kò rí support lọ́wọ́ government, lọ́wọ́ local government. Ó máa lo brain orin yẹn bó ṣe máa fraud èmi àti ìwọ tó wà ní Nàìjíríà. And that's why there's a lot of fraudsters all over the place. Ẹ bá rí wọn náà. Even though the bigger fraud is the government, but ẹ̀yin kékèké yẹn wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ fi yín dófin torí wọ́n fẹ́ jẹ́ kẹ́ dàgbà sókè. Avensis àbí kíní kan tó fẹ́ gùn yẹn wọ́n fẹ́ jẹ́ kó gùn ún. Because tí wọ́n bá ti ń gun Avensis, ní the politician mọ́. Gbogbo sector, àtẹni tó ń dirun, àtẹni tó ń gẹrun, àtẹni tó ń ṣoúnjẹ, every sector ló ní important role nínú society. Títí dé ẹni tó ń ṣe plumbing, ẹni tó ń tún toilet ẹ ṣe, ẹni tó ń because gbogbo ò lè mọ the same knowledge wa yàtọ̀. So I need ara wa nínú society. Gbọ́wọ́ fẹ́ jẹ́ kó work. Good afternoon, may the peace. Say the truth and you will wear the crown nature, and God says so, freedom is. So, Muki Prince Adebayo. So I'm going to come back for our late night as usual. But for now, let's take a break. Eloki Jimo, Muki Bubawa Musulumi, Muki Christian, without leaving anybody, whether you are Celestial, Mulaka and White Garment, I love the White Garment churches, Muki Bubuile Kosi, but we have not been able to come out and tell our people the truth. And that's why our people are suffering. So we played just 2 videos. I know this one always is a big impact in our lives because this is our sister that was killed last year. Let's hear her before we play the next one.
Bóyá nọ́mbà bí ọtí ẹni lẹ́yìn ìlú ṣáà fàdúrà sí wàhálà ọkọ mi ò balẹ̀ mọ́ má sọ fẹ́ ní bòdì tó mọ̀ mọ̀ sí ìlú masáré lọ fún yọba àti rí wọ́n máa wà fi ṣe mí ṣe yẹyẹ tí kòkó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ ṣàárẹ̀ ó.
Impediment to Yoruba development is the impediment to Oodua development. Without Nigeria, we won't be where we are. 1962, we were far ahead of South Korea and North Korea. We were far ahead of China even. We had television before France. We had radio before South Africa. Now look at where we are today. I think it's a shame that even any Yoruba man can be talking about restructuring at this point in time. What are we restructuring? This country that is already shot to pieces? I don't think that's what we want. But they are always talking about giving Nigeria a chance. The patience of Yoruba with Nigeria has come to an end.
Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
If you don't allow we Biafrans to go, that zoological republic called Nigeria will be a worse place than Somalia. And today it is happening. And if you have not applied for your Somalian visa, please try and do so. Should I say Somali visa? Try and do so as quickly as possible, because the zoo is on the path of destruction. And there is nothing man can do to reverse it. Mark today's date and what I'm telling you. Nigeria will be destroyed beyond human comprehension.
One of Nigeria then so Nigeria to fail in the education, to fail in the health, infrastructure of fail, who cannot fail, they want to fail in body and so you're not letting by you. Who hope with your back, will let you move in. I found me now once you the one no more like no more than no one. What I think Nigeria number board to you know, I know too much. When you give me a kò sẹ́ni kí ló kò sí pa. Bẹ́ẹ̀ yóò kọ́ sí, kò lè rí òkú lọ sí ìdá. Ìṣúná kò sómi. Ó bó ìrọ̀rùn lọ, ọdún mẹ́fà wọn ò ní ṣe eruku pàrọ̀ àdúgbò tán. Ọmọ Oòduà. Ọ̀gá Fúlàní, ọ̀gá Fúlàní, ọ̀gá Fúlàní ló jẹ́ o. Yorùbá nation yìí ti gbogbo wa ni. Kó má gbọ́dọ̀ bàjẹ́, torí kò sílùú mìíràn.
life is so funny. You come with nothing, then fight for everything, and later leave everything and go back with empty hand. God is powerful. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Koiki Media. Bye for now.